Chapter 2355. The Void Divine Pagoda is an ancient building on the Void Divine Island. Seeing that Lu Ming didn't know, Emperor Wu Xiang explained. The Void Divine Island was the dojo of a supreme existence. Naturally, there were many ancient ruins and buildings on it. Many of them were left behind by the Supreme Existence's disciples. Usually, they would contain some treasures. The Void Divine Pagoda was a famous building in a large area. The Evil God tribe and the Heaven World's experts discovered it at the same time. Now, both sides were fighting for control of the Void Divine Pagoda. Many people heard the news and rushed to the Void Divine Pagoda. Emperor Wu Xiang and the other two also heard the news and rushed there. They didn't expect to meet the Evil God tribe halfway and be chased down. I see. After hearing this, Lu Ming nodded. To be honest, he had been on the Void Divine Island for more than a year and hadn't seen this building. He couldn't help but be curious. Lu Ming, do you want to take a look together? There might be many treasures inside. There might even be heavenly Dao soldiers. Emperor Wu Xiang said. At the mention of heavenly Dao soldiers, even the eyes of Emperor Wu Xiang and the others were burning. Heavenly Dao soldiers were too precious. Even heavenly emperors would fight for them. How could ordinary people not be moved? Okay, I've been in seclusion for this period of time. I was thinking of walking around. Lu Ming nodded. Immediately, Emperor Wu Xiang and the other two led the way. The group of four headed in the direction of the Void Divine Pagoda. Their luck wasn't bad. For a few days, they didn't meet the Evil God tribe. 3 days later, they arrived at their destination. From afar, they saw a huge pagoda. It seemed to be made of bronze. It pierced the sky and reached into the clouds. When Lu Ming and the others arrived at the bottom of the pagoda, they saw a large number of figures. On one side, there were more than 100 people from the Evil God tribe. On the other side, there were more than 100 people from the Heaven World. These were all heavenly emperors. At this moment, both sides were confronting each other. The atmosphere was extremely tense. Lu Ming and the others looked around and saw that the bottom of the pagoda was full of potholes. There were traces of a great battle. They even saw the corpses of the Evil God tribe and the Heaven World. It was clear that a huge battle had taken place not long ago. When Lu Ming's group of four arrived, many people's gazes fell on them. Lu Ming, it's you. A cold voice rang out. Lu Ming looked over and found an acquaintance in the crowd. Lan Jie was a great emperor of the Lan family. Previously, he was defeated by Lu Ming at the drill ground of the Two-World City. There were a few other people standing next to Lan Jie. They looked at Lu Ming coldly, and their eyes flickered with killing intent. Are they all from the Lan family? Lu Ming guessed. As soon as they saw him, they revealed killing intent. Lu Ming guessed that those people were probably from the Lan family or the Yan family. Lu Ming ignored him. Together with Emperor Wu Xiang and the other two, he flew toward the crowd in the Heaven Realm and joined them. Some people were delighted. After all, the more people there were in the Heaven Realm, the stronger they would be. Lu Ming looked around and found that there was a door in the pagoda. The door was tightly shut and did not open. Lu Ming and the others asked around and found out that there were formations around the door. Previously, both sides had attacked the pagoda, but they did not manage to break through. Later, the Heaven Realm and the Evil God tribe had a conflict. Both sides fought, but their strength was about the same. There was no clear victor. Swish, swish. Not long after Lu Ming and the others arrived, there was the sound of air being torn apart. A few figures flew over. They were from the Evil God tribe. Clearly, people from both sides had heard the news and rushed over. As time passed, the number of people on both sides increased, but they did not attack. Both sides were about the same in strength, so they had their reservations. Just like that, the tense atmosphere lasted for 7 to 8 days. Everyone from the Heaven Realm, if this goes on, none of us will be able to enter the pagoda. How about this? Let's work together and break open the door of the pagoda. After we enter the pagoda, we'll decide the victor. At this moment, a burly evil god tribe member stepped out and spoke. On the Heaven Realm side, many people looked at each other and asked for each other's opinion. I think it's feasible. If this goes on, it will only be a waste of time. It won't be too late to kill the other races after we enter the pagoda. A middle-aged man in blue robes said. This person was an expert from the Lan family. It was said that his cultivation had reached the level of a 3-star great emperor. He was one of the top experts in the Heaven Realm. I think it's feasible too. Another 3-star great emperor said. Soon, both sides came to an agreement. They were prepared to break open the door of the pagoda first. Both sides took a direction and started to attack from afar. Swish, swish, swish. Attacks broke through the void and blasted toward the door of the pagoda. There were a few hundred great emperors on both sides. When they attacked together, the momentum was extremely shocking. Hundreds of attacks blasted toward the door. However, when these attacks were about to land on the door lit up. Strange patterns appeared on it, forming a light barrier. Boom! Boom! When those attacks landed on the light barrier, they were all blocked by it. The light barrier kept on vibrating, but it was not broken. Continue! Someone shouted. Everyone continued to attack. On the evil god tribe's side, almost all of them used their third eye to attack. Beams of destructive light turned into all kinds of weapons and beasts that pounced toward the door. On the Heaven Realm side, there were all kinds of magical skills. The great Tao intertwined, dazzling and colorful. All kinds of magical skills dazzled looming. That great array was absolutely shocking. With so many great emperors attacking it together, it actually did not break open in a short time. However, that light barrier was vibrating violently. It seemed like it would not be able to hold on for long. Crack! A short moment later, cracks began to appear on the light barrier. Numerous cracks began to appear on the light barrier. Boom! In the end, the light barrier exploded. Attacks landed on the door of the huge pagoda. Boom! 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 The door shook. However, the strange thing was that with so many attacks, the huge pagoda did not shake at all. It was as stable as a rock. Creak! Then, under the attacks of so many people, the door slowly opened. After a while, the door was completely open. However, behind the door was a blur. They could not see what was behind the door. Go in! Someone from the evil god tribe shouted and rushed in. Let's go in too. The people from the Heaven Realm shouted. They all soared into the air and rushed toward the door. Looming and the others also blended into the crowd and rushed in. Hundreds of people rushed through the door in an instant. After Looming and the others rushed through the door, they felt as if they had passed through a blurry wall. Then they appeared in an empty space. Crack! After they entered, the door closed automatically. Chapter 2356. This place is... After everyone entered the huge pagoda, they were shocked when they saw what was in front of them. This was because the situation here was very different from what they had imagined. Originally, they thought that after entering the huge pagoda, they would arrive at the interior of the pagoda. But looking ahead, it was extremely spacious. In front of them, there were overlapping mountains. On top of the mountains, there were many huge palaces. This place did not look like the interior of a huge pagoda at all. Instead, it looked like a paradise. There is definitely a great opportunity here. Many people's eyes lit up. Look, what's that? Suddenly, someone pointed to the sky and exclaimed. Everyone looked up into the sky and saw that runes had appeared in the sky. Those runes were like runes, and they emitted a resplendent light. Then, a young man who looked to be in his teens appeared. There's actually someone here? No, this person is not a physical body. He is an illusory body. When this teenager appeared, many people were shocked. But they also discovered that this teenager was not a physical body and had no aura of life. Ha ha ha, no one has come in for so many years. Now that someone has finally come in, there is finally something fun to play with. The teenager opened his eyes wide and looked at Lu Ming and the others. He seemed to be very excited. "Who are you?" someone asked. "Me. I am the spirit of this place. Didn't you notice that this place is enveloped by a large array?" The teenager smiled. His eyes kept darting around as if he was more interested. Spirit of the array. Many people's hearts skipped a beat. They were very surprised. Only some very mysterious and powerful arrays could give birth to spirit of the array after a long period of time. The spirit of the array had spiritual intelligence and was no different from ordinary people. Let me tell you something. Once you enter this place, you won't be able to get out. The teenager continued to smile. Everyone's expression changed when they heard this. Won't be able to get out? What did that mean? What do you mean? An expert from the evil god tribe said with an ugly expression. If you can't get out, it means you can't get out. You will have to stay here for the rest of your lives. The teenager pursed his lips and explained again. I don't believe it. Since we can enter, we can also leave. As long as we break this large array, it will be fine. The 3-star martial emperor from the Lan family shouted. Many people's eyes lit up. That's right. If they could break through the large array to enter, they could also break through the large array to get out. Everyone, let's join forces to break through the large array and open that door. The 3-star martial emperor from the Lan family shouted. All right, let's go. The others responded. Boom, boom. On the heaven realm side, more than 100 great emperors attacked at once. Dazzling rays of light blasted towards the door. This time, there was also light circulating around the gate, and a screen of light appeared. All of the attacks landed on the light screen, but they were like mud in the sea. There was no movement at all, not even the slightest ripple. Everyone's expression turned unsightly. Previously, when they were outside, they could at least cause the light barrier to tremble violently when they struck the door. However, it was completely still now. Continue. The 3-star great sovereign of the Lan clan roared. Everyone continued to attack, but the result was the same. There was no impact at all. Everyone, let's attack together. Otherwise, all of you will have to stay here. Someone looked toward the expert from the evil god race. All right, let's attack together. The expert from the evil god race nodded. When facing such a situation, both sides had no choice but to join forces again. In the sky, the young man had a faint smile on his face as he watched calmly. There was a faint disdain on his face. Whoosh! Whoosh! This time, the evil god race and the beings from the heaven realm attacked together. Their momentum was extremely shocking. However, the result was no different from before. Their attacks landed on the light screen. Not even the slightest ripple was created. Not even the slightest ripple was created. Continue. Someone roared. They kept attacking, but it was useless. It's useless. Lu Ming's expression was also somewhat ugly as he stopped attacking. How can this be? Someone roared in disbelief. Just now, they had broken through the array formation outside, opened the door and rushed in. Why couldn't they do it now? Let me tell you. Just now, you broke through the array formation outside on purpose. At that time, the array formation's power was only 1% of what it is now. The array formation here can't be broken without the cultivation of a heavenly emperor. The young man said indifferently, What, only a heavenly emperor can break it? Everyone's expression was incomparably ugly. I can't do it. Someone roared and rushed toward the door. However, halfway there, he was blocked by a layer of light screen. He kept attacking, but the terrifying energy blasted into the light screen and disappeared. Since attacking the door doesn't work, then attack this array spirit. Take it down and force it to open the door. Someone roared. That's right, take down this array spirit. Attack! Immediately, at least 100 experts rushed into the sky. There were beings from both the evil god race and the heaven realm. Lu Ming didn't move. He had an intuition in his heart that it wouldn't be that simple. Sure enough, when the 100 experts approached the array spirit, lines appeared in the sky. A layer of light screen covered the array spirit. Over 100 experts attacked. All kinds of attacks bombarding the array spirit. However, the effect was the same as the previous attack on the door. All the attacks were blocked by the layer of light screen, not causing the slightest ripple. Damn it! Many people roared, but it was useless. No matter how they attacked, they couldn't attack the array spirit. It's useless. Give up. Without the cultivation of a heavenly emperor, you can't break this array at all. No one has come in for countless years. You guys can accompany me here in peace. Ha ha ha. The young man laughed loudly, extremely excited. After he gained sentience, no one had come in for countless years. He was lonely. Now that someone had come in, he was naturally excited. Are we really going to be trapped here for the rest of our lives? Some people were in despair. Only a heavenly emperor could break through. The entire void divine island had a supreme pressure that prevented the heavenly emperor from entering. If the heavenly emperor couldn't enter, no one could save them. You guys don't have to think about other exits. There is only one exit here. The array spirit laughed happily. It seemed that it found it interesting to see others in despair. Is there really no way to get out? Someone asked unwillingly. Of course, it's not that there's no way. Back then, my master, the person who set up this array, left a way out. At this time, the array spirit thought for a while and said, everyone was ecstatic. What way out? Someone asked excitedly. As long as there was a way out, there was hope to get out. As long as there was hope, there would always be a way out. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the young man, waiting for his answer. Chapter 2357. Let me tell you, back then, Master left 8 array discs here. As long as you find the 8 array discs, you can open this door. The young array spirit said, 8 array discs? May I ask where the 8 array discs are? Someone asked, in this mountain and river, in this palace. The young man pointed to the mountains in front of him and said, there might be array discs in all these places. Moreover, the 8 array discs are in different positions. All right, we'll find these array discs now. Someone said, although this place was vast, it shouldn't be difficult to find the 8 array discs. Wait a minute, don't be anxious. I still have a condition. The array spirits' gaze turned and swept across the people from the evil god tribe and heaven realm. You people should be divided into 2 factions. My condition is that only one of you can leave. In other words, only one of you can leave this place alive and gather all 8 array discs. After saying that, the array spirit smiled happily as if he was looking forward to it. Only one faction can leave this place alive. Many people were shocked. Boom! Boom! At this moment, everyone erupted with shocking aura and killing intent as they looked at each other. Great! Kill all these heaven realm beings, and we can leave this place. Someone from the evil god tribe said ferociously, kill us all? You are the ones who will die. On the heaven realm side, there were also people with cold, killing intent. The 2 sides were originally mortal enemies. Now that the array spirit had set such a condition, the scene could be imagined. Instantly, the atmosphere was tense. Kill! You are the one who will die. The people who were closest to each other suddenly attacked each other and started killing each other. This was like a fuse that instantly lit up the entire place. Kill! Kill the evil god tribe. Kill all these heaven realm bastards. The people from both sides charged together and engaged in an intense battle. The scene was constantly rumbling. In the next moment, someone screamed and was killed here. Lu Ming, Emperor Wu Xian, Emperor Han Tian, and Emperor Tianhua were also fighting with a few evil god tribe members. However, Lu Ming did not unleash his full strength. He realized that the combat strength of both sides was not much different. They should not fight to the death now. Sure enough, after fighting for a while, Both sides lost more than a dozen people, and experts on both sides retreated and started to confront each other. There was not much difference in strength between the two sides. If they continued to fight, it was likely that both sides would be injured. At that time, no one would be able to leave. Both sides faced each other, swords drawn and bows bent. In my opinion, we should go and look for the disc array first. There must be some opportunities in this place. While looking for the disc array, we should also look for opportunities to hunt down the aliens and weaken their strength. Then we can wipe them all out. That's right. I think it's doable too. If we encounter any fortuitous encounter, it can also increase our strength. By then, it will be much easier to kill the non-human kind. Some people were discussing in secret. In the end, the Heaven Realm reached an agreement. However, the evil god tribe seemed to have similar thoughts. After the two sides faced each other for a while, they retreated. Go. In the end, the people of the evil god race headed to the right, rushing towards the mountain range and the palace. Let's go too. The people from the Heaven Realm rushed to the right. I hope you guys have fun. In the sky, the young array spirit showed an expectant smile and disappeared in a flash. Lu Ming and the others flew for a while. Wait a minute. Suddenly someone shouted. Everyone stopped and looked at the person who had just spoken. It's him. Lu Ming's eyes moved. The person who had asked everyone to stop was the 3-star Great Emperor from the Lan family. Brother Lan, why did you ask us to stop? Someone asked. There are some people among us who are not qualified to walk with us. The middle-aged 3-star Great Emperor from the Lan family said coldly, looking at Lu Ming. Lu Ming's eyes moved. The faces of Emperor Wu Xiang, Emperor Hun Tian, and Emperor Tian were darkened. The others also looked at Lu Ming and the others, revealing a look of realization. The grudge between Lu Ming and the Lan family had spread like wildfire in the Heaven Realm. Not many people did not know about it. Now, the Lan family was going to make things difficult. Lu Ming, you guys can leave. You are not welcome here. The middle-aged man from the Lan family said coldly. At the side, Lan Jie sneered and stared coldly at Lu Ming. The Lan family did not dare to kill Lu Ming openly because there were too many heavenly emperors behind Lu Ming. If word got out, the Lan family would not be able to handle it. However, they only asked Lu Ming to leave. This way, the heavenly emperors behind Lu Ming could not say anything. Now, the Heaven Realm beings and the evil god tribe would not rest until one of them was dead. Lu Ming and the others were separated from the main group. Once they encountered the evil god tribe would definitely not let them go. They would kill them and weaken the Heaven Realm's strength. This was the Lan family's plan. Let us leave. There are so many people here. Your Lan family does not have the final say. Emperor Wu Xiang replied. Oh, is that so? The 3-star Great Emperor from the Lan family sneered. He then looked at the others and said, Everyone, do you want to work with Lu Ming or my Lan family? If you want to work with Lu Ming, please go ahead. My Lan family will not accompany you. After saying that, a group of people stood beside the 3-star Great Emperor of the Lan family. There were more than 10 of them. These people were from the Lan family's headquarters. There were also people like the Yen family who had a good relationship with the Lan family. Hearing the middle-aged man's words, many people's eyes lit up. I am willing to work with the Lan family. Of course, I am willing to work with Brother Lan. Soon, some people walked toward the Lan family with smiles on their faces. This area was the periphery of the void, sacred island. Those who were active were all low-level Great Emperors. High-level Great Emperors who were 4-star and above had already entered the depths of the void, sacred island to look for better opportunities. This time, the people who had entered the array had the highest cultivation base. They were all 3-star Great Emperors. Among them, there were not many 3-star Great Emperors. Every single one of them was the strongest among them. Every single one of them would be crucial to the fight for the array disk and the hunt for the evil god tribe. One had to know that the evil god tribe also had a few 3-star great emperors. Without a 3-star great emperor, they would not be able to contend against the evil god tribe. The 3-star great emperor from the Lan family was almost at the peak of the 3-star great emperors. His battle strength was extremely shocking. Working with Lu Ming. What a joke. Was he courting death? Now, they naturally chose to work with the Lan family. In their minds, Lu Ming was only a true emperor. Although his battle strength was shocking, he was at most equivalent to a 1-star great emperor. He would not affect the overall situation. The beings from the heaven domain stood beside the Lan family. Lu Ming, Emperor Wuxiang, and the other two were slowly isolated. The middle-aged man from the Lan family, Lan Jie, and the others smiled. Lu Ming had left the group and was killed by the evil god tribe. They could not be blamed for this. Chapter 2358. Despicable. Emperor Wuxiang, Emperor Han Tian, and Emperor Tianhua had ugly expressions. It doesn't matter. Since they don't welcome us, let's go. Lu Ming was very straightforward. He turned around and left. Emperor Wuxiang and the other two followed behind Lu Ming. I hope the evil god tribe kills him. The middle-aged man from the Lan family sneered. His name was Lan Kong, and he was one of Blue Cloud's uncles. In the past, Lu Ming had humiliated the Lan family in public and even killed Blue Cloud. Many people in the Lan family hated Lu Ming. Lan Kong was even more so. If it weren't for the heavenly emperor behind Lu Ming, he would have killed Lu Ming personally. Let's go. After Lu Ming and the others left, the people from the heaven world flew toward the mountain range. Lu Ming and the others did not fly, but walked on the ground. Soon, they arrived at the foot of a mountain. They took out some origin stones and started refining them to recover. They had just experienced a great battle and needed time to recover. Soon, they were fully recovered. Lu Ming, what are your plans? Emperor Wuxiang asked. This area should be the cave of an expert. There might be some opportunities left behind. Wouldn't it be a pity if we miss it? Lu Ming said with a smile. So what if they left the group? Lu Ming was not worried. His current battle strength was enough to kill a 2-star great emperor. With the indestructible ancient scriptures' powerful recovery ability, he was not afraid even if he faced a 3-star great emperor. Immediately, the group of 4 charged towards the palaces in the mountain range. Soon, they arrived at a mountain peak. There was a palace on this mountain peak. However, there were figures flickering in the palace. They were the other living beings of the heaven world. It was obvious that this place had been occupied. Lu Ming and the others left the place and went in another direction. This region was extremely vast, stretching as far as the eye could see, vast and boundless. Soon after, they arrived at another mountain peak with a palace, which was also occupied by someone else. The 4 of them didn't stop and continued forward. Slowly, they deviated from their original direction and moved closer to the left. There's someone ahead. After a while, Lu Ming muttered to himself as he noticed some movement up ahead. They found a secluded place and looked forward. Up ahead, there was a cliff. It looked very ordinary, nothing out of the ordinary. However, at this moment, there were a few members of the evil god clan wandering around the bottom of the cliff, patrolling the area. Is there something wrong here? Lu Ming's group of 4 was startled. Then they began to observe patiently. At the foot of the broken cliff, a total of 4 people from the evil god race were searching continuously. Are you sure there are treasures here? A member of the evil god race asked with some uncertainty. It shouldn't be wrong. I can sense that there's something incredible here. Let's keep looking. There must be something fishy. An evil god race member with 4 arms spoke. His figure was nimble, flickering incessantly below the cliff. Found it! Suddenly, The evil god race member with 4 arms exclaimed in surprise. He lay on the cliff and pointed his finger continuously. Beams of light entered the stone wall. Kacha! All of a sudden, the stone wall cracked open, and a crack appeared in it. Haha, it appeared! The evil god race members were overjoyed. In the distance, the eyes of Lu Ming's group also lit up. They didn't expect that an ordinary cliff would have another world. This place was so secretive, there might really be treasures inside. There are 4 evil god race members and only 1 2-star Great Emperor. We can easily deal with them. Lu Ming transmitted his voice to Emperor Wuxiang and the other 2. The 3 of them nodded, and a glint flashed in their eyes. Then the 4 of them retracted their auras and ran along the ground toward the cliff. In a few breaths' time, the 4 of them were close to the cliff. Who's there? When they were close, a member of the evil god race discovered them and immediately shouted. Swish! Lu Ming directly made his move and charged toward that 2-star Great Emperor. As for Emperor Wuxiang and the other 2, they also charged toward the other 3 members of the evil god race. It was 4 against 4. Human, you're courting death. That 2-star Great Emperor had 4 arms, and 4 sharp blades appeared on his 4 arms. His figure flashed, and his speed was shocking. The 4 sharp blades slashed toward Lu Ming. Swish! 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 For sharp blades slashed toward Lu Ming's 4 vital points with shocking speed. Buzz! Lu Ming's muscles and bones vibrated. In an instant, the frequency of the vibrations exceeded 1 billion times. The super-strong vibrations burst forth with terrifying power. The void exploded, and endless void storms swept in all directions. The sharp blades of the evil god race member were directly destroyed. Boom! Then Lu Ming punched out. The fist force crushed through, and that evil god race member groaned. His body flew out like a cannonball, and he vomited large mouthfuls of blood. His face was pale. He was severely injured in one move. Not good, run. That evil god race member knew that he had met an opponent he couldn't defeat. He shouted and wanted to escape. However, Lu Ming was faster than him. In a flash, he caught up to him. Boom! Boom! Lu Ming punched out continuously. 11 types of light flashed on his body. 11 types of laws erupted at the same time. The evil god race member couldn't resist at all. He was directly crushed by Lu Ming's fist force. With a miserable cry, his body was torn into pieces. After killing this evil god race member, Lu Ming didn't stop. His figure flashed, and he rushed toward the other 3 evil god race members. Those 3 evil god race members were only 1-star Great Emperors. The difference between them and Lu Ming was too great. They couldn't escape even if they wanted to. Lu Ming killed them all with 1 punch. After killing the 4 evil god race members, Lu Ming stored their corpses in his small world. Then the 4 of them came before the crack. There seemed to be a tunnel behind the crack. The 4 of them didn't hesitate and entered the tunnel. The tunnel wasn't very long. It was only a few thousand meters long. After passing through the tunnel opened up. In front of him was a huge stone chamber. However, this stone chamber was completely empty. There was nothing inside. There's an entrance there. Lu Ming looked ahead. Inside the stone chamber, there was a stone door that was half open. The 4 of them walked over and discovered that there was a stone staircase behind the stone door. It was slanted downwards. The 4 of them walked down the stone staircase. Soon, they arrived at a huge underground secret room. This secret room was also very spacious. There were only 2 metal boxes in the middle of the secret room. Their eyes lit up. The 4 of them carefully approached the metal boxes, worried that there was a formation on them. However, when the 4 of them approached, they didn't find anything strange. Lu Ming took the lead. He arrived at one of the metal boxes and opened it. Immediately, he discovered many rings inside. There were a total of 9 storage rings. Lu Ming picked one up and scanned it with his spiritual sense. He was immediately overjoyed. Origin stones. The storage ring was filled with origin stones. Furthermore, they were all peak-grade origin stones. He didn't know how many there were. Then, Lu Ming picked up another storage ring. He discovered that it was also filled with origin stones. Furthermore, they were all peak-grade origin stones. Chapter 2359. Afterward, Lu Ming looked at the 8 storage rings. They were all primordial stones, and they were all supreme-grade primordial stones. Ha ha ha, I'm rich. Lu Ming laughed. Supreme-grade origin stones were useful even to great emperors and heavenly emperors. Absorbing the origin chi from the origin stones could help one condense a small world and strengthen one's world energy. However, it wasn't as fast as chaos stones or primordial stones. What's inside? Emperor Wuxiang and the others were also looking forward to it. Origin stones, they're all origin stones. Lu Ming handed the 8 storage rings to Emperor Wuxiang and the others. They were overjoyed when they saw the contents. With so many origin stones, even if they were great emperors, they would be able to use them for a long time. Lu Ming picked up the 9th storage ring and scanned it with a spiritual sense. In the next moment, Lu Ming's eyes widened and his mouth fell open. The 9th storage ring wasn't filled with origin stones, but chaos stones and primordial stones. The 9th storage ring was filled with chaos stones and primordial stones. Moreover, there were so many of them. Lu Ming did a rough calculation. There were no less than 10,000 chaos stones and primordial stones. What did 10,000 chaos stones mean? Back when the Lan family held a banquet and offered 100 chaos stones as a reward, it shocked the entire heavenly domain. All the geniuses gathered. Lin Xiaofeng, who was originally the first place of the 9 absolutes, also went to the Lan family for 100 chaos stones. If 100 chaos gems had such a value, wouldn't 10,000 chaos gems cause a stir if word got out? Although primordial stones weren't as effective as chaos stones, 3 primordial stones were equivalent to 2 chaos stones. There were about 10,000 chaos stones in each storage ring. One had to know that chaos stones and primordial stones were products of the beginning of the world. They were irreplaceable treasures. Every time one was used, there would be one less. After countless years, chaos stones and primordial stones had become very scarce. However, there were 10,000 chaos stones in each storage ring. This was an unimaginable amount of wealth. Seeing Lu Ming in a daze, Emperor Wuxiang and the others were curious. After a long while, Lu Ming finally recovered. He handed the storage ring over to Emperor Wuxiang to take a look. Emperor Wuxiang and the others were petrified when they saw the contents. After a long while, the 3 of them finally reacted. Their eyes widened in surprise. Then, the 4 of them looked at the other big box. There were already so many treasures in one chest. What kind of treasures would the other chest contain? They were all filled with anticipation. Lu Ming walked over and opened the box. As soon as the box was opened, a bright light shone from within. Following that, balls of light rushed out from the box. What is it? Lu Ming was startled. He quickly retreated and looked at the balls of light. There were a total of 36 balls of light. Within each ball of light, there was an object that looked like a piece of glass. It emitted a brilliant and mysterious aura. The aura of the great Tao. Lu Ming's eyes widened. He could sense the aura of the great Tao from each of the balls of light. It was very similar to the aura of the martial monarch realm. It's a great Tao fragment. It's really a great Tao fragment. Emperor Wuxiang, Emperor Han Tian, and Emperor Tian shouted excitedly. Great Tao fragment. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Martial monarchs comprehended the great Tao. Great Tao fragments could be refined by martial monarchs to increase their comprehension of the great Tao. It could even help them break through their bottlenecks. However, great Tao fragments were extremely rare. Theoretically speaking, there was a chance that a great Tao fragment would appear after a martial monarch was killed. However, the probability was extremely low. Also, it was possible for a heavenly emperor to nurture a great Tao fragment. There were even invincible figures who could refine great Tao fragments from the great Tao of heaven and earth. However, such items were in short supply. Once a great Tao fragment appeared, it would be snatched up by martial monarchs. Great Tao fragments were priceless treasures to martial monarchs. Whoosh! Whoosh! 36 balls of light flew in the sky. Some of them even flew towards the exit. Quick! Don't let the great Tao fragments fly away. Martial monarch Wuxiang shouted as he flew towards the great Tao fragments. At the same time, Lu Ming, martial monarch Wuxiang, and martial monarch Wuxiang also moved. Their figures flickered as they pounced towards the great Tao fragments. Lu Ming was extremely fast. With a wave of his hand, a huge palm condensed from the great Tao fragments. It grabbed a great Tao fragment and put it away in a storage ring. Then, it flew towards the other great Tao fragments. The 4 of them acted together. In less than a minute, the 36 great Tao fragments were collected by the 4 of them. Ha ha ha! Martial monarch Wuxiang and the others laughed. The harvest this time was too great. A large number of supreme-grade origin stones, more than 10,000 chaos stones and primordial stones, and 36 great Tao fragments. If others knew about this, it would probably cause a commotion and lead to a bloody fight. A great opportunity. This was truly a great opportunity. This place was so secretive. There were indeed many treasures. Then, the 4 of them searched the place again and confirmed that there were no other treasures. Let's leave this place first, martial monarch Wuxiang said. The others nodded and walked towards the exit. Through the passage, they arrived outside the cliff. However, as soon as they arrived outside, their expressions changed. Because there were people outside. Lan Jie! Lu Ming saw Lan Jie at a glance. There were 6 other people. Including Lan Jie, there were a total of 7 people. Lu Ming! Lan Jie also saw Lu Ming immediately. The 7 of them stared at Lu Ming and the others with burning eyes. Lu Ming, what did you get in there? Hand it over. Lan Jie shouted, his eyes flickering with a cold light. We didn't get anything in there. Lu Ming replied casually. You didn't get anything? Do you think I'm an idiot? This place is so secretive. There must be treasures. Give us your storage rings and open your small world for us to search. I don't believe there are no treasures. Lan Jie said coldly. Are you an idiot? Lu Ming glanced at Lan Jie indifferently and said coldly, Also, who do you think you are? Even if there are treasures in there, why should I let you search? Lu Ming. Lan Jie's face darkened. He gritted his teeth and said, Today, even if you don't want us to search, we have to. You don't have a choice. Boom, boom. Beside Lan Jie, powerful auras burst out from the other 6 people. Powerful pressure pressed down on Lu Ming and the others. 2 2-star great emperors and the rest are 1-star great emperors. Lu Ming instantly judged the other party's strength, and the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. No wonder Lan Jie was so confident. The 2 2-star great emperors were indeed powerful. In Lan Jie's opinion, they were enough to crush Lu Ming. Chapter 2360. The 7 of them unleashed their auras at the same time. The pressure of the great emperor realm surged towards Lu Ming's group like a storm, especially the 2 2-star great emperors. Their auras were even more terrifying. Wu Xiang, Hun Tian, and Heavenly Fire Emperor shuddered and took 2 steps back. Lu Ming, surrender and hand over your interspatial ring. Lan Jie sneered. Come and get it yourself if you dare. Lu Ming said indifferently. Facing the 7 experts, Lu Ming's expression did not change at all. Stubborn fool. Attack and cripple him. Lan Jie said coldly. He took a step forward and charged towards Lu Ming. In his opinion, Lu Ming was only slightly stronger than him. If he attacked, with the help of 1 or 2 people, he could take down Lu Ming in a few moves. He charged towards Lu Ming, but in the next moment his pupils shrank because Lu Ming's figure suddenly disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already in front of him. How can he be so fast? Not good. This was the only thought that flashed through Lan Shiji's mind. He wanted to retaliate, but it was too late. He saw Lu Ming's palm enlarging rapidly in front of his eyes and then pressing on his face. A terrifying force surged from Lu Ming's palm. Lan Jie could not resist this force at all. He even heard the sound of his neck breaking. Boom! Lu Ming's palm pressed on Lan Jie's face and slammed him into the ground. A huge boom rang out and the ground shook. A huge crater appeared in the ground, and Lan Jie lay there, twitching and coughing up blood. His bones were all broken. He was not dead yet, but his eyes were filled with fear and disbelief. How long had it been since the last time he fought with Lu Ming? Last time, Lu Ming was barely able to defeat him. In terms of fighting ability, Lu Ming was not stronger than him. In the end, Lu Ming was able to win because of the indestructible ancient scripture. But now, in front of Lu Ming, he had no power to fight back. He was even weaker than a baby and was pressed to the ground by Lu Ming. The remaining 6 people were also shocked. Let's deal with him together. A 2-star great sovereign yelled. The 2 2-star great emperors dashed toward Lu Ming at the same time. Lu Ming had beaten Lan Film half to death in one move. This kind of combat strength made them tremble with fear. They decided to join forces to take down Lu Ming. Just in time. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with a cold light and 11 types of laws radiated from his body. His muscles twitched and he charged at the other party. These are 11 types of laws, 5 of which are the strongest laws. When the 2 2-star great emperors saw the radiance on Lu Ming's body, their hearts shook violently and their faces were filled with disbelief. Boom! Boom! While the 2 of them were shocked, Lu Ming's attack had already arrived. Lu Ming's fist force was like a storm, blasting towards the 2 of them. The terrifying fist force made it hard for the 2 of them to breathe. The 2 of them roared and attacked with all their might. The aura of the great Tao filled the air as they executed their divine skills to fight against Lu Ming. After a series of deafening booms, the 2 figures were forced to retreat. They were 2 2-star great emperors. At this moment, the 2 of them were shocked. They felt like the bones in their arms were about to crack. Lu Ming's attack was shockingly powerful. Even when the 2 of them joined forces, they were still at a disadvantage. Boom! Boom! After Lu Ming repelled the 2 of them, he did not give them any chance to take a breather as he continued to attack. Moreover, Lu Ming did not care about his own defense at all as he attacked with all his might. This allowed Lu Ming to unleash his full combat strength. The 2 2-star great emperors attacked with all their might, but they were no match for Lu Ming. Every time they clashed with him, their bodies would tremble violently and they would retreat continuously. Their blood and qi were in turmoil, and blood flowed out from the corners of their mouths. They were shocked. Lu Ming's combat strength was almost on par with a 3-star great emperor. If they were alone, they would have been defeated long ago. Go down! Lu Ming roared and charged towards one of the 2-star great emperors, ignoring the other's attack. Bam! Bam! 2 clashing sounds could be heard. One of the 2-star great emperor's attacks had struck Lu Ming. At the same time, Lu Ming's attack had struck the other 2-star great emperor. The 2-star great emperor that had been struck by Lu Ming let out a cry as his body was sent flying and crashed into the wall of the cliff. He spat out mouthfuls of blood as his chest was pierced through. He was severely injured. As for Lu Ming, although he was also sent flying, he only spat out a mouthful of blood. However, his aura was still strong and he was not seriously injured. Whoosh! Lu Ming turned around and swept his leg out like a steel whip, hitting the two-star Great Emperor behind him. The man's body was sent flying like a cannonball as he was severely injured. The two-star Great Emperors had only exchanged a few blows with Lu Ming before they were severely injured by Lu Ming. The remaining one-star Great Emperor, who was fighting with Emperor Wuxiang, and the other two, was greatly shocked and quickly retreated. The one who was most shocked was none other than Lan Jin. His eyes were wide open as he was almost scared to death. Two-star Great Emperors were severely injured by Lu Ming in an instant. What kind of strength did Lu Ming have? How could he improve so quickly? Lu Ming's cold gaze swept across Lan Jin, causing him to tremble and his face to turn pale. "Spare me, spare me!" Lan Jin actually struggled to kneel down and begged Lu Ming for mercy. It was rare for a great emperor like him to kneel down and beg for mercy from a junior. "I'll spare your lives this time. If there's a next time, I'll kill you," Lu Ming said coldly. Then he left with Emperor Wuxiang and the other two in a flash. It was not that he was merciful, but their biggest opponent in this formation was the evil god tribe. If they killed Lan Jin and the others, it would weaken the strength of the heaven realm, which was disadvantageous to them. However, if they were to push their luck, he would not show any mercy. Lu Ming and the group of 4 left this place and headed to the right, arriving at a relatively remote mountain peak. The 4 of them opened up a cave, sealed the entrance, and entered. Then they took out all the origin stones, chaos stones, primordial stones, and great Tao fragments. "Lu Ming, take these chaos stones and primordial stones. They'll be of great use to you." Emperor Wuxiang handed the storage ring with the chaos stones and primordial stones to Lu Ming. "How can this be? We got these things together. We should split them equally." Lu Ming said, "No, Lu Ming. Without you, how could the 3 of us have gotten such a great opportunity? Moreover, we're old and have limited potential. It's a waste to take up such a large amount of resources. We'll only be able to make the most of them if we leave them to you. We'll just take a few great Tao fragments." Emperor Hun Tian said, "The great Tao fragments are of no use to me for the time being. They're useful to the 3 deans. Take them." Lu Ming pushed 30 great Tao fragments to Emperor Wuxiang and the other 2. However, Emperor Wuxiang and the other 2 shook their heads. The 3 of them took 18 great Tao fragments and gave the remaining great Tao fragments to Lu Ming. As for the 8 origin stones in the storage rings, the 3 of them took 1 each. The remaining 5 were all given to Lu Ming. Chapter 2361. Then Emperor Wuxiang, Emperor Hun Tian, and Emperor Tianhu planned to go into seclusion to refine the great Tao fragments to see if they could break through the bottleneck. Lu Ming also went into seclusion to comprehend the laws. Anyway, the 8-array discs were not that easy to obtain. Moreover, only one side could leave between the heavenly realm and the evil god tribe. When the time came, both sides would definitely kill each other. Then let them fight. Right now, improving their strength was the way to go. Without strength, if the heavenly realm won, it would be fine. If the evil god tribe won, they would definitely be killed. At that time, they would be at the mercy of others. Lu Ming's physical body had just broken through not long ago. With the help of liquid fire, he had reached the peak of the early 5th level. It was impossible for him to break through again in a short period of time. If he wanted to improve his strength now, he could only comprehend the laws. Lu Ming comprehended the strongest laws. Every time he comprehended a new law, he would connect it with other laws. His combat strength would definitely increase. The 4 of them sat in 4 different directions and began to cultivate. Emperor Wuxiang, Emperor Tianhua, and Emperor Hun Tian each took out a great Tao fragment and refined it. It was not that easy to refine a great Tao fragment. It would take a long time. As for Lu Ming, he comprehended the laws in peace. Now his main goal was the reincarnation laws and primordial laws. He planned to cultivate these two laws to the third level first before comprehending the other laws. Time flew by quickly. In the blink of an eye, half a year had passed. Comprehending the laws here was very fast. Even without going through a life-and-death battle, Lu Ming still broke through to the third level of the primordial laws. Moreover, it perfectly merged with the original 9 laws to form a divine ability. As for the reincarnation laws, it had also reached the limit of the second level. However, Emperor Wuxiang and the other 2 were still refining the great Tao fragments. They had already refined one great Tao fragment and were now refining the second one. Let's go out and see what's going on outside. Lu Ming pondered. He did not know what the situation outside was like in half a year. Had the 8 array discs been found? Immediately, Lu Ming left the cave and headed outside. Boom! Not long after leaving the cave, Lu Ming saw people fighting. It was the heavenly realm beings and the evil god tribe. There were more than a dozen people, and both sides were constantly attacking each other. Could it be that the 8 formation plates have been found? Lu Ming's heart stirred. Once the 8 array discs were found, the 2 sides would definitely engage in a decisive battle. After observing for a while, Lu Ming discovered that this was not the case. Instead, the 2 sides were fighting over a palace. Lu Ming narrowed his eyes and used the divine breathing technique to completely retract his aura, making him look like a rock. Then Lu Ming's body sank into the ground and quietly moved towards the palace. No one noticed that Lu Ming had successfully entered the palace without making a sound. Unfortunately, this palace did not have any treasures. Lu Ming searched around but did not find anything. It seemed that the treasures they obtained last time were really something that could only be chanced upon by luck. That's... Suddenly, Lu Ming's expression changed. In the last room of the palace, Lu Ming made a discovery. A ball of light floated in the air. Within the ball of light, there was a disc array floating, emitting a dusky glow. Disc array. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Could the disc array that the formation spirit was talking about be this disc array? Lu Ming waved his hand, and the power of law condensed into a large hand. With a grab, he grabbed the disc array in his hand. The disc array was very ancient and had gone through countless years. There were 8 pits on it. At this moment, 5 of the 8 pits were shining. Congratulations, you've obtained a disc array. Suddenly a voice sounded. Then a young man appeared. It was the formation spirit. Now, you've found 5 disc arrays. There are 3 more left. Keep up the good work. I'll remind you again that only one of you can leave. I look forward to your performance. After saying that, the formation spirit's figure disappeared. 5 disc arrays appeared. In that case, the 5 shining pits on the disc array are the number of disc arrays that have been found. Lu Ming's heart stirred. Then he put away the disc array. Lu Ming continued to retract his aura and left the palace. Outside, the people from both sides were still fighting. Lu Ming left quietly again. Following that, Lu Ming walked around outside and did not gain anything. Lu Ming returned to his previous place of seclusion. Now that he had a disc array in his hand, he was much more at ease. In any case, even if the other 7 disc arrays appeared, the others could not leave without the disc array in his hand. He could cultivate in seclusion in peace. Returning to his place of seclusion, Lu Ming continued to comprehend the laws in seclusion. Lu Ming did not comprehend new laws. Instead, he focused on comprehending the reincarnation laws. At the same time, he constantly explored divine power techniques. His divine power techniques were all self-created. Therefore, every time he comprehended a new type, his divine power techniques had to be sorted out and explored again. Only through continuous exploration could his Abhijna technique continue to become more refined and more powerful. Time passed quickly. Another half a year passed. Lu Ming had been in the void, sacred island, for more than 2 years. At this time, Lu Ming had finally cultivated the reincarnation laws to the 3rd level. Moreover, it complemented the other laws well and formed a new divine power technique. It was a divine ability formed from 5 supreme laws and 6 monarch laws. Once he attacked, the divine power technique formed by 11 intertwined laws exploded. Its power was shocking. There was no doubt that Lu Ming's battle strength had increased a little. Now that he had unleashed his full strength, even if he encountered a 3-star great emperor, he would not be afraid. He was confident that he could fight. It was worth mentioning that after Emperor Wuxiang and the other 2 had refined 3 great Tao fragments, their cultivation had broken through to the 2nd-star Great Emperor realm. The 3 of them had been stuck at the 1-star Great Emperor realm for a long time. Now that they had broken through to the 2nd-star Great Emperor realm, their strength had improved greatly. In addition to Lu Ming's battle strength, the 4 of them were considered to be quite strong. Congratulations to the 3 deans, Lu Ming said with a smile. Ha ha ha, luck. However, it will be difficult for us to break through to the 3-star Great Emperor realm. Our talents are limited. Even with the great Tao fragments, it won't be that easy. Emperor Wu Xiang laughed heartily. The bottleneck that had not loosened for many years had broken through. Naturally, he was in a good mood. The 3 of them chatted for a while and decided to go out and take a look. There were already 7 formation plates. As long as the 8th formation plate appeared, there would be a fierce battle between the 2 sides. Moreover, Lu Ming and the other 3's strength had increased greatly. They wanted to go out and try their luck to see if they could obtain more opportunities. The 4 of them came out of seclusion and headed towards the depths of the region. Soon they made a discovery. This was because they realized that there were people heading towards the depths of the region. The crowd is gathering. There must be a great discovery ahead. Emperor Wu Xiang said, "Let's go and take a look." Chapter 2362. They secretly followed a few people and headed deeper. After flying past a large number of mountain peaks, they arrived at a plain. On this plain, a huge pit had been dug out. Within the pit, there was actually a huge palace. This was a palace buried underground, and had been discovered by someone. The door of the palace was open, and the few people in front flew in directly. Swoosh! Swoosh! Not far away, a few more figures flew over. They were from the Evil God tribe. The few Evil God tribe members coldly glanced at Lu Ming and the others, but they did not make a move. They also rushed into the door of the palace. It seems that this underground palace is very impressive. It has attracted experts from both sides. Emperor Wu Xiang said. The others nodded. They had been trapped in this array for a year, and 7 array discs had been found. They had probably searched every corner that could be searched. It was very likely that the last disc array was in this underground palace. Moreover, this palace was hidden deep underground. Perhaps it contained a great opportunity. Let's go in and take a look. Emperor Heavenly Fire said, "Let's go." Lu Ming said and flew toward the door of the palace. Behind the door was a huge passageway that extended forward. The moment they flew in, they saw light shining in front of them. The few Evil God tribe members who had flown in earlier were being attacked. The walls on both sides of the passageway were shining, and mysterious runes appeared. They condensed into beams of light that attacked the few Evil God tribe members. The few Evil God tribe members tried their best to resist. As they resisted, they moved forward. "There's a formation here," Lu Ming reminded them. The 4 of them were on full alert. When they entered the passageway, resplendent beams of light burst out from the walls on both sides of the passageway, blasting toward them. These beams of light were like beams of divine light, and their power was astonishing. The 4 of them set up layers of defense on their bodies to block these beams of light. Fortunately, although these beams of light were strong and were a threat to 1-star great emperors, they were not much of a threat to them. The 4 of them moved forward quickly, heading deeper into the passageway. When the few evil god tribe members in front saw how fast Lu Ming and the others were moving, their countenances changed drastically. They unleashed their full strength, wanting to quickly pass through the passageway, afraid that Lu Ming and the others would catch up to them. However, there were a total of 3 of them. 2 of them were 2-star Great Emperors, and the other was a 1-star Great Emperor. Their speed could not be compared to Lu Ming and the rest. After more than 10 minutes, Lu Ming and the rest caught up with them. "Kill!" Lu Ming coldly spoke. When encountering the evil god race, there was nothing much to say. There was only killing. "You're the one who will die." A 2-star emperor from the evil god tribe roared and charged towards Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming's current combat prowess was no weaker than a 3-star martial emperor. How strong was he? After one move, the evil god tribe member was sent flying while vomiting blood. Next, Lu Ming stepped forward and killed this evil god race member with a single move. As for Emperor Wu Xiang and the other 2, they had also forced the remaining 2 evil god tribe members into a precarious situation. Lu Ming turned around and charged back. The remaining 2 evil god tribe members were easily dealt with by them. After packing up, the 4 of them continued forward. This time, they passed through the passage in less than a few minutes. After the passage, there were many corridors. There were a total of 6 corridors that led in different directions. Lu Ming's group randomly chose a corridor and charged forward. Not long after, they discovered some rooms. However, these rooms were all empty. They had been emptied. Lu Ming's group understood that they had come late. Most likely, many people had already entered. Then they came across a few more rooms, all of which were emptied out. Immediately, they didn't stop and rushed forward with all their might. Suddenly, they heard an incomparably mournful scream. The 4's expressions changed. Someone had been killed. The 4 of them hurriedly retracted their auras and continued forward. Boom! Boom! In front of them, there were intense explosions. Scram! Kill! Angry roars could be heard as well. Lu Ming's group passed through a corridor and arrived at a spacious hall. They discovered that a group of people were being surrounded. There were evil god tribe members and also heaven realm beings. The 2 sides didn't attack each other because they had a common enemy. In the hall, streaks of black light flickered continuously. Their speed was extremely shocking. This was a type of bat. Its entire body was pitch black, as if it was made of black iron. However, its eyes were completely red, like blood. The enemy of the evil god tribe and heaven realm beings was this type of bat. In the hall, there were already some corpses of the evil god tribe and heaven realm beings lying there. Moreover, each corpse was shriveled, as if their blood had been devoured. Buzz, buzz, a strange fluctuation spread over, causing Lu Ming's, Emperor Wu Xiang's, and the others' expressions to change. It's a sound wave attack. Be careful, Emperor Wu Xiang warned. The few of them hurriedly activated their skills to defend against the invisible wave. The invisible wave was very terrifying. Once hit, it would directly attack one's soul, causing one to feel dizzy. Clearly, many people had been hit. After being attacked by these bats, they felt dizzy and didn't have the strength to fight back. They were directly attacked by these bats and died on the spot. Swoosh, swoosh. There were dozens of black bats moving freely in the hall. The evil god tribe and heaven realm beings were blocked here. They couldn't move forward at all. It was even dangerous for them to protect themselves. On the opposite side of the hall, there was a door that seemed to be able to move forward. Let's rush over, Lu Ming said, and rushed forward with Emperor Wu Xiang and the other 2. Instantly, a few black bats stared at them. Their blood-red eyes swept over them and flew towards them. Buzz, buzz, that formless fluctuation rushed towards them. Lu Ming controlled the laws. 11 types of laws covered his entire body, especially his ears, where the defense was the strongest. However, even so, Lu Ming could feel the power of the laws shaking. Nevertheless, he managed to block it. As for Emperor Wu Xiang and the other two, it wasn't so easy. Their bodies trembled slightly, and their faces turned slightly pale. Swoosh! Swoosh! A few bats pounced towards Lu Ming and the others. Die! Lu Ming shouted coldly. He stepped forward and punched out a few times. Boom! Boom! The void shook violently. The invisible wave was directly destroyed by Lu Ming's fist force. The terrifying fist force crushed the bats, and their bodies exploded. Let's go! Lu Ming took the lead and rushed forward. Emperor Wu Xiang and the others followed behind Lu Ming. With Lu Ming's cultivation and his powerful physical body, his defense was astonishing. Even the sound wave attack of the bats couldn't hurt him. With Lu Ming in the lead, the four of them rushed forward like a pair of scissors. On the way, Lu Ming killed a few more bats. That's Lu Ming. He's actually so powerful. Someone recognized Lu Ming and was shocked. Lu Ming, help us. Someone shouted and looked at Lu Ming with anticipation. Chapter 2363. Lu Ming couldn't be bothered to pay attention to these people. Now that these people were in trouble and in danger, they thought of Lu Ming, asking Lu Ming to save them. Back then, when the Lan family wanted to chase Lu Ming away, why didn't these people come out to speak up for Lu Ming, and even stood on the Lan family side? Wasn't it because they looked down on Lu Ming and felt that Lu Ming's strength was low? Now, seeing that Lu Ming's strength was strong, they wanted to ask Lu Ming to save them. How could there be such a good thing in the world? Lu Ming's group of four kept moving forward, rushing behind the door opposite the main hall. Entering the door, there was also a corridor that led all the way to the depths ahead. Not long after they moved forward, their expressions changed because there was also a corpse lying there in the corridor. Its body was shriveled, clearly killed by those bats. The four of them didn't dare to be careless and focused on defense. Swoosh! Suddenly, a few black shadows rushed out from under the corpse, charging towards Lu Ming and the rest. It was those black bats. Boom! Boom! Lu Ming threw out a few punches consecutively, killing a few bats. They continued forward. Sure enough, along the way, they would be attacked by those bats from time to time. However, with Lu Ming opening the way, they still moved forward without any danger. Along the way, they would occasionally see corpses that had fallen here, with the Heavenly Realms creatures, and also those of the evil god tribe. This palace was very large. They bypassed a few corridors and passed through countless rooms. Finally, they arrived at a huge hall. There was no one in the hall. It seemed that they were the first to arrive at this hall. In midair of the hall, there was a light screen. It was circular, like a bubble, suspended in midair. When Lu Ming's group of four saw the things inside the light screen, their eyes went wide. Great Tao fragments. In the light screen, they were all great Tao fragments, and the number was astonishing. There were at least dozens of pieces. It was more than what they got last time. The eyes of the four immediately burned with passion. The great Tao fragment was a priceless treasure in the outside world. Any great emperor would be tempted by it. To a great emperor, there was nothing more precious than the great Tao fragment. Great Emperor Wu Xiang, Heavenly Fire Great Emperor, and Chaos Heaven Great Emperor had been trapped in the one-star Great Emperor realm for a long time. But after refining 3 great Tao fragments, their cultivation levels had broken through. One could imagine how precious great Tao fragments were. One had to know that great emperors also faced heavenly tribulation. The heavenly tribulation occurred once every 300,000 years. It was normal for many great emperors to not make any progress in their cultivation after 300,000 years. There was no progress in his cultivation, but the heavenly tribulation would only get stronger. If that was the case, he would die under the heavenly tribulation sooner or later. However, with the great path fragments, their cultivation could increase. This way, it would be much easier to deal with the heavenly tribulation. Hurry! S's great emperor's SSS that they had to get ahead of others and take away all these grand Tao fragments. Otherwise, they would have to experience a period of slaughter. Lu Ming's was the fastest. In an instant, he was close to the light screen. He stretched out his hand and grabbed at the light screen. However, when Lu Ming's hand touched the light screen, it was like an iron wall. It was extremely hard and blocked Lu Ming's hand. "It's so hard." Lu Ming's face changed. He unleashed all his strength and the power of law and punched the light screen. Boom! The light screen shook violently, but it didn't break. At this moment, Great Emperor Wu Xiang and the other two arrived. The three of them attacked the light screen ferociously. The light screen shook violently, but it still didn't break. "Let's focus on one point and break it," Lu Ming said. "All right." Great Emperor Wu Xiang and the other two nodded. The power of law flowed around Lu Ming's body. A long spear appeared in his hand. It was the infinite dragon spear, formed by the power of law. Buzz! Lu Ming shook the infinite dragon spear. The infinite dragon spear spun rapidly like a drill and pierced the light screen. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Suddenly the light screen shook violently. The place where the spear pierced caved in and rippled. Boom, boom, boom. Great Emperor Wu Xiang, Great Emperor Han Tian, and Great Emperor Tian Hua attacked at the same time. They used their strongest attacks on the spot where Lu Ming was attacking, causing the light screen to shake even more violently. However, the light screen still didn't break. "Continue," Lu Ming shouted and continued to attack. Boom, boom. The four of them attacked continuously. The light screen shook more and more violently. After the four of them attacked continuously for more than 100 times, the light screen finally changed. Crack! The sound of something shattering could be heard. The four of them were overjoyed. They immediately became spirited and attacked like a storm. Crack! Crack! The cracks on the light screen became bigger and bigger. Countless small cracks appeared, and finally they formed a huge crack. The light screen was about to break. However, at this moment, a few figures rushed in from another passage in the hall. There were a total of 8 people. Lu Ming! As soon as these people saw Lu Ming, some of them shouted furiously, "It's the Lan family!" As soon as the 8 people came in, Lu Ming and the others were alerted. Who would have thought that it would be such a coincidence to meet someone from the Lan family here? Those are great path fragments. They are all great path fragments. Gosh, there are so many. We must get them. Immediately, the 8 people of the Lan family saw the great path fragments in the light screen. Suddenly, their eyes were filled with radiance. That was the radiance of greed. It was extremely hot. The leader of the Lan family was Lan Kong. "These great path fragments are mine," Lan Kong shouted in his heart. "Break!" At this moment, Lu Ming burst out with all his strength. He became one with his spear and turned into a dazzling spearlight, stabbing at a crack on the light screen. The light screen was already full of cracks and was about to break. At this moment, Lu Ming's attack was like the straw that broke the camel's back. Boom! The light screen directly exploded. Dozens of great path fragments were revealed. "Attack! The great path fragments are ours!" Lan Kong shouted and pounced towards Lu Ming and the others. "Keep!" Lu Ming directly took out the mountain river diagram. The mountain river diagram expanded rapidly, and the mountains and rivers appeared inside, enveloping all the great path fragments. In an instant, all the great path fragments were collected by Lu Ming into the mountain river diagram. Then the mountain river diagram turned into a ray of light, flew into Lu Ming's glabella, and disappeared. "Retreat!" Lu Ming, Emperor Wu Xiang, and the others hurriedly retreated, avoiding Lan Kang's attack. "Lu Ming, hand over the great path fragments!" Lan Kong shouted. His eyes were full of greed. "We found it first, so it naturally belongs to us. Isn't it ridiculous to hand it over to you? Lu Ming sneered, revealing a mocking expression. Today, you have to hand it over even if you don't want to. Attack! Chapter 2364. Lan Kong gave the order and rushed towards Lu Ming. The other experts of the Lan family also rushed towards Lu Ming and the others. Roar! Lan Kang's body was covered in purple light. He threw a punch, and the purple light condensed into a lion that pounced towards Lu Ming. Lan Kang's eyes were filled with killing intent. Apart from the Lan family, there was only Lu Ming and the others present. He had already decided to kill Lu Ming on the spot, as well as Emperor Wuxiang and the others. Anyway, everyone present was from the Lan family. If they did not spread the news, no one would know that they were the ones who killed Lu Ming. The heavenly emperor behind Lu Ming could only think that Lu Ming had died in an adventure or was killed by the evil god tribe. In this way, not only could he obtain the great Tao fragment, but he could also kill Lu Ming. Thinking of this, Lan Kang's eyes flashed with excitement. Boom! At this moment, Lu Ming also attacked. This time, Lu Ming did not retreat. Instead, he faced the attack head-on and threw a punch at Lan Kang, courting death. The sharpness in Lan Kang's eyes intensified. He had heard of Lu Ming's strength from Lanya. He was very strong and could defeat a 2-star great emperor. But according to his speculation, he was not a match for a 3-star great emperor. After all, the difference between each star was huge. If Lu Ming had chosen to retreat or dodge, he might have spent more effort. But Lu Ming chose to face him head-on. This was simply courting death. Boom! The two collided fiercely, and a deafening explosion erupted. The place where the two fists collided was filled with dazzling light that made people unable to open their eyes. Then, the two figures trembled as if they had been electrocuted and retreated continuously. Lu Ming and Lan Kang were evenly matched in this move. How is this possible? Lan Kang retreated 5 to 6 steps and stabilized his body. He roared in his heart, and his eyes widened in disbelief. In this move, he felt that Lu Ming's strength was as deep and unfathomable as the sea. How was this possible? How could Lu Ming be so strong? 11 different colors of law light. What was that? 11 laws? Lan Kang's heart was in turmoil. As for the other members of the Lan family, they were extremely shocked, especially Lanya. His eyes almost popped out of their sockets. A 3-star great emperor is nothing more than this. Lu Ming said coldly, I haven't used my full strength yet. Don't be too proud. Lan Kang said coldly. His eyes were extremely cold. He said to the other Lan family members, You guys take down those 3 old men first. Leave Lu Ming to me. Yes, leave these 3 old fellows to us. The other members of the Lan clan said as they charged towards Emperor Wu Xiang's group. But as soon as he made his move, these people were shocked. That was because Emperor Wu Xiang and the other 2 were all 2-star great emperors. The 3 2-star great emperors working together had astonishing battle prowess. Furthermore, they were focused on defense. The people of the Lan clan could not take them down in a short time. Damn it! Lan Kang roared and personally charged towards Lu Ming. He used his full strength and roared continuously. Lu Ming was not afraid at all. He fought with him continuously. In the blink of an eye, they had exchanged more than 10 moves, but it was still difficult to win. With Lu Ming's current battle prowess, he was not weaker than a 3-star great emperor in a head-on battle. Just as the 2 sides were fighting fiercely, a figure flashed. More people had arrived. This time, there were more than 20 people who came. They were all living beings from the heaven realm. Needless to say, when the crowd saw that Lu Ming could actually fight with Lan Kang, they were extremely shocked. Lan Kang's face was extremely gloomy. Now that the other people from the heaven realm had arrived, he did not dare to kill Lu Ming openly. Everyone, let's attack together. Lu Ming has obtained a large number of great Tao fragments. Lan Kong roared and wanted to pull the others to attack together. What? Great Tao fragments? Many people looked at Lu Ming with burning eyes, revealing a greedy look. Great Tao fragments were too tempting for great emperors. Who dares to attack? If I don't die when I return to the grand pure sky domain, I'll bring people to visit your forces one by one. Lu Ming said coldly. Many people felt chills all over. The strength behind Lu Ming was too shocking. There were more than a dozen heavenly emperors. No one could withstand it. If Lu Ming did not die, they would be the ones to die. Thinking of this, although many people were burning in their hearts, they did not dare to attack at all. Lan Kong, no one can help you. Today, the one to die will be you. Lu Ming said coldly. Boom! At this moment, Lu Ming completely erupted. He did not care about defense and used a desperate fighting method, launching a storm-like attack. In this way, Lu Ming was directly hit by Lan Kong. Lan Kang's punch hit Lu Ming's chest, causing Lu Ming's chest to collapse. However, Lu Ming also seized the opportunity and punched Lan Kang's shoulder. Kacha! The sound of bones breaking was heard. Lan Kang's shoulder directly exploded. He staggered back, his face a little pale. His defense was no match for Lu Ming. Bam! Lu Ming took a heavy step forward, ignoring his injuries, and continued to attack Lan Kong. Lu Ming, what are you trying to do? You're too selfish. Your cultivation is only at the true Emperor realm. There's no point in keeping the great Tao fragment. My cultivation is already at the peak of the 3-star great Emperor realm. As long as you give me the great Tao fragment, I can quickly break through to the 4-star great Emperor realm. As long as I break through to the 4-star martial Emperor realm, our heaven realm will be able to annihilate the evil god tribe, seize the 8 formation discs, and leave this place. Otherwise, we might all die. For your own selfish reasons, you don't care about the lives of others. Lan Kong roared, still wanting to drag others down. Many people's faces changed. Indeed, in this great formation, their number one opponent was the evil god tribe. Lan Kang's cultivation was indeed at the peak of the 3-star great Emperor realm. He was the one with the most hope of breaking through in the heaven realm. If he obtained the great Tao fragment, he might really break through. In that case, they would have the confidence to defeat the evil god tribe. Some people's eyes flickered. Haha, don't flatter yourself. Without you, I'll still annihilate the evil god tribe. Kill! Lu Ming sneered and attacked crazily. After Lu Ming went all out, Lan Kong was completely at a disadvantage. He was confident that he could hit Lu Ming, but the price was that he would also be hit by Lu Ming. His vitality and defense were not as good as Lu Ming's. He was at a disadvantage in such a way of fighting. Damn it! Lan Kong roared in his heart. He could only give up the chance to hit Lu Ming and focus on defending and dodging. Bam! Suddenly, Lu Ming took a heavy step forward. His figure suddenly changed direction, no longer attacking Lan Kong. Instead, he attacked Lan Jie and the others. Not good. Lan Kang's expression changed drastically. As for Lan Jie and the others, they did not expect Lu Ming to suddenly change direction. They were shocked and wanted to dodge, but it was already too late. Lu Ming's figure instantly appeared behind Lan Jie. His palm was like a sharp sword, stabbing into Lan Jie's dantian. Boom! This palm directly pierced through Lan Jie's dantian, tearing his small world apart. Chapter 2365. Lu Ming's palm struck Lan Jie's dantian. The terrifying force tore Lan Jie's dantian into pieces. Ah, my dantian, my cultivation! Lan Jean screamed hysterically. Her eyes were filled with despair. I've said it before. If there's a next time, I'll kill all of you. Do you really think that I don't dare to kill you or that I can't kill you? Lu Ming said coldly, causing the despair in Lan Ye's eyes to deepen. There was also fear in his despair. Lan Ye screamed in his throat. "Die in peace," Lu Ming said indifferently. His palms suddenly shook and a terrifying force burst out, tearing Lan Ye's body into pieces. "Kill!" Lu Ming roared and charged towards the rest of the Lan family. Bang! A 2-star Great Emperor was almost smashed into pieces by Lu Ming's punch. He retreated frantically, spurting out blood. He was extremely terrified. Boom! 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 Lu Ming punched continuously like a tiger in a flock of sheep. The 1-star Great Emperor couldn't block a single move from Lu Ming and was instantly killed. Even though the 2-star Great Emperor defended with all his might, he was still severely injured by Lu Ming's punch. As a result, Wu Xian Great Emperor, Hun Tian Great Emperor, and Heavenly Fire Great Emperor took advantage of the fact that their opponents were severely injured to kill a few of them. "Lu Ming!" Lan Kong roared, his eyes turning red. "Lu Ming, you're killing the people of the Heaven Boundary. Are you trying to disregard the lives of the people of the Heaven Boundary? They are the backbone of the battle against the evil god tribe." Lan Kong wanted to use this method to arouse the hatred of the others so that they would work together to deal with Lu Ming. However, at that moment, no one made a move. Lu Ming's combat ability was shocking. Disregard the lives of others? Haha! Why didn't you think of this when you attacked us? Also, trash like you won't be of much use, even if you're left alive. "I'll deal with the evil god tribe," Lu Ming said coldly. A brilliant glow shrouded him as he threw out a punch, killing a severely injured 2-star martial monarch. "Lu Ming, remember this. My Lan family will not let you off." Lan Kong roared. He actually turned around and ran. He rushed out of passage and disappeared. Lan Kong actually fled without a fight. Damn it! The remaining members of the Lan clan roared in despair. "The Lan clan is full of trash." Lu Ming sneered and showed no mercy. With the help of Emperor Wu Xian and the others, the remaining members of the Lan family were all killed in no time. Lu Ming, Martial Emperor Wu Xian, and the others took the storage rings of the Lan clan and left the place. Next, Lu Ming and the others continued to explore the palace, but they didn't find anything. During this time, they encountered the evil god tribe and fought a big battle. Lu Ming and the others killed more than 10 members of the evil god tribe and forced them to retreat. Finally, they came to the deepest part of the palace. Here, they found something. Here, they found some chaos stones and origin stones. Most importantly, Lu Ming found a rare natural treasure, divine wood liquid. Lu Ming was in a jade bottle. Lu Ming recognized this rare spiritual liquid and was overjoyed. This spiritual liquid contained extremely rich life essence and was not inferior to liquid fire. If Lu Ming cultivated with it, he had a chance to break through to the mid-5th level of the 7 divine mystic arts. Originally, if Lu Ming wanted to break through to the mid-5th level of the 7 divine mystic arts, he would need a long time to accumulate. It wasn't easy to cultivate an archaic body cultivator. It was very difficult. It was the same for the cultivation of the 7 divine mystic arts. Every breakthrough was very difficult. However, if he could obtain some rare natural treasures, it would be a different story. For example, liquid fire, divine with liquid, and other rare treasures. These treasures contained rich life essence and could allow one's physical body to improve quickly. How could Lu Ming not be happy? As long as the 7 divine mystic arts broke through to the mid-5th level, his battle strength would skyrocket. At that time, with the combination of his physical body and laws, not to mention a 3-star Great Emperor, even a 4-star Great Emperor would be killed. The 4 of them kept the items and left in a flash, heading out of the palace. They had gained enough from this trip. The most important thing now was to find a place to cultivate and improve their strength. In a secret room in the palace, Lan Kang's figure flashed and turned into a big hand, grabbing balls of light in his hand. These balls of light were actually great Tao fragments. There were more than 10 of them. Ha ha ha, the heavens bless me. With these 10 great Tao fragments, my cultivation will definitely break through to the 4-star Great Emperor realm. Lu Ming, you will die then. Lan Kang's eyes flickered coldly. Lu Ming and the others left the palace and flew into the distance. Along the way, Lu Ming suddenly stopped and took out a formation plate. He saw that the 8 pits on the disc array were all lit up. All 8 formation plates have been found. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. All 8 formation plates have been found. It seems like a storm is coming. Emperor Wu Xiang said, now that all 8 formation plates had been found, it was time for the 2 sides to fight. The side that one would be able to leave this place alive. It was destined to be a fierce battle. Let's find a place to cultivate and let the others fight. Right now, improving our strength is the most important thing. Lu Ming said. Emperor Wu Xiang and the others nodded. After all, they had a formation plate in their hands. They were not afraid that they would not be able to leave before the others. Soon, they arrived at the top of a mountain. The mountain was the tallest in the area. Standing at the top of the mountain, they could see into the distance. They decided to cultivate at the top of the mountain. That way, they would be able to see into the distance and know what was going on outside. They immediately split the loot among themselves. Emperor Wu Xiang and the others only took a portion of the great Tao fragments. They left the rest to Lu Ming. After splitting the loot, they began to cultivate. Lu Ming took out the divine wood liquid and poured out a portion of it. He began to refine it. The strength of his flesh began to improve rapidly. However, the situation outside was slightly different from what Lu Ming and the others had expected. The 2 sides did not fight each other. Instead, they had gone into hiding. Meanwhile, Lu Ming refined some of the divine wood liquid and went out to investigate the situation. He was quite surprised when he discovered the situation. Perhaps they have learned something during this period. Their thoughts are the same as ours. They are planning to cultivate in seclusion before eliminating the enemy. Lu Ming guessed. After taking a look around, Lu Ming returned to the mountain and continued to wash his face. A few days later, some people came to their mountain. They originally wanted to occupy the mountain, but when they saw Lu Ming and the others, their expressions changed drastically and they retreated. The news of Lu Ming killing many experts of the Lan clan had already spread among the people of the Heaven Realm. When the others saw Lu Ming, they naturally retreated in fear. Chapter 2366. Time flew by. In the blink of an eye, 3 months had passed. In 3 months, Lu Ming had refined all the divine wood liquid. His 7 divine mystic art had finally achieved a breakthrough and reached the mid-stage of the 5th level. Lu Ming's physical strength had also increased tremendously. Now, Lu Ming could suppress a 4-star Great Emperor with just his physical strength. With every breakthrough in the 7 gods' mysterious art, his physical strength would soar, and the increase would be extremely shocking. For example, in the early 5th level of the 7 gods' mysterious technique, he could suppress a 1-star Great Emperor with just his physical strength. When the 7 gods' mysterious technique broke through to the mid-5th level, he could suppress a 4-star Great Emperor. In the late 5th level, he could suppress a peak Great Emperor. With every breakthrough, his strength would increase tremendously. It would not be too difficult for Lu Ming to kill a 4-star Great Emperor with his physical strength and the power of the nomological laws. He might even be able to fight against a 5-star Great Emperor. The time has come. With my current strength, I can wipe out everyone in this formation. Lu Ming revealed a confident expression. However, Emperor Wu Xiang and the other 2 were still cultivating. Lu Ming was not in a hurry to leave. He continued to cultivate and consolidate his cultivation. On a mountain peak that was thousands of miles away from Lu Ming and the rest, a powerful aura suddenly erupted. Swoosh! A figure soared into the sky. His aura was like a gale, sweeping in all directions. I have finally broken through. The person muttered to himself. His eyes were shining with a terrifying radiance. This person was Lan Kong. After several months of bitter cultivation and refining a few pieces of great Tao fragments, he had finally broken through the bottleneck and became a 4-star Great Emperor. A 4-star Great Emperor was already considered a high-level Great Emperor. His combat strength had increased tremendously. Lan Kang's shocking aura also alarmed the people nearby. What a shocking aura! This is a 4-star Great Emperor. Lan Kong has broken through and become a 4-star Great Emperor. Great, a 4-star Great Emperor has appeared. We can finally annihilate the evil god tribe. Voices could be heard. Some were shocked and some were ecstatic. Previously, whether it was the evil god tribe or the heaven domain, the strongest was a 3-star Great Emperor. The birth of a 4-star Great Emperor would definitely break the balance and give the heaven domain an absolute advantage. Boom! However, right at that moment, a terrifying aura rushed out from the distance. This aura was extremely astonishing, and it soared into the sky like a smoke signal. This aura was equivalent to a 4-star Great Emperor. This is someone from the evil god race. Someone from the evil god race has also broken through. On the heaven realm side, someone cried out in alarm, his face pale. How could this be? Lan Kong had just broken through to 4-star Emperor realm. He had thought that he would be able to annihilate the entire evil god tribe. Who would have thought that someone from the other races would also break through to 4-star Emperor realm? This caused everyone's hearts to sink. This way, the outcome of the battle would be hard to predict. Lan Kang's face also became gloomy and somewhat ugly. The foreign races also have people who have broken through to the 4-star Great Monarch realm. I don't have the confidence to kill them. I have to raise my cultivation a little more. Oh right, I should look for Lu Ming. That kid has a huge amount of great Tao pieces. I'll sneak over and kill him, steal his great Tao pieces, and then find a place to cultivate in seclusion. Once I rank up to the 5 stars martial monarch realm, I'll be able to deal with the foreign tribes with ease. Lan Kang's eyes flickered coldly. Now is not the time to start the battle. I've just broken through, so I need some time to consolidate my cultivation. Keep an eye on the movements of the foreign tribes. If there's any news, let me know immediately. Lan Kong instructed the others. Now that his cultivation had reached the 4-star martial monarch realm, he had become the strongest expert of the heaven realm. It went without saying that he had a superior attitude. All right, we will. The others immediately nodded their heads with fawning looks. If they wanted to leave this place alive, they could only rely on Lan Kong. Without Lan Kong, they would be slaughtered by the foreign tribes. The foreign tribes did not attack as they were intimidated by Lan Kang's breakthrough. Lan Kong rapidly flew toward the mountain where Lu Ming and the others were at. The others already knew that Lu Ming and the others had occupied the highest mountain nearby. Lan Kong had also heard the news. Not long after, Lan Kong arrived at the mountain where Lu Ming and the others were at. On the mountain peak, Lu Ming, who was sitting cross-legged, opened his eyes. His gaze was like stars as he looked at Lan Kong. Lan Kong, I did look for you, but you're here. Lu Ming said calmly. Lu Ming, hand over all the great Tao fragments you've obtained. Lan Kong said coldly. If you want my great Tao fragments, let's see if you have the ability to take them. Lu Ming said. Is that so? Lan Kong placed his hands behind his back and stood high in the sky with an arrogant look. Bang! Following this, Lan Kong suddenly took a step forward. As he took this step, a terrifying aura burst out from his body. The Wu Xiang martial monarch, the chaotic heaven martial monarch, and the heavenly fire martial monarch had already woken up when Lan Kong arrived. They opened their eyes wide in shock and exclaimed, 4-star martial monarch, you've broken through to the 4-star martial monarch realm. Hee hee. Lan Kong chuckled and looked down at Lu Ming and the others. Lu Ming, are you feeling desperate now? Desperate? Are you talking about yourself? Lu Ming said with a calm smile. For some reason, Lan Kang's heart skipped a beat when he saw Lu Ming smile. He had a bad feeling about this. He's just pretending to be calm. His strength might be strong, but there's no way he's comparable to a 4-star martial monarch. Lan Kong warned himself. His cultivation was initially at the peak of the 3-star martial monarch realm. He was only able to break through so quickly with the help of the great Tao fragments. On the other hand, Lu Ming's cultivation was only at the true monarch realm despite his strength. It was impossible for him to break through to the 4-star martial monarch realm in such a short time. Having figured this out, Lan Kong felt relieved. Stop being so mysterious. If you're not willing to hand it over, I'll take it myself, Lan Kong said. Following this, his figure dashed toward Lu Ming with a flicker. Roar! The roar of a lion echoed across the sky. Lan Kong threw a punch at Lu Ming. A purple lion appeared and lunged at Lu Ming. Watch out! The Wu Xiang martial monarchs were startled. This move again. I'm sick of it. Lu Ming's voice was heard as he threw out a palm strike. Puchi! Lu Ming's palm was like a heavenly saber that sliced through the void. The lion figure that Lan Kong had formed burst like a bubble. Lan Kang's pupils contracted rapidly. Although he had not used his full strength in the previous move, it was enough to severely injure a 3-star martial monarch. Given Lu Ming's strength, he should have been severely injured by the move. However, Lu Ming had easily defeated his attack. Something's not right. Lan Kong roared in his heart. His eyes were filled with doubt, and he was about to retreat. Lu Ming, let's fight another day. Lan Kong yelled and turned around to run. It's too late to leave now, Lu Ming said coldly. He unleashed the 6 feathered godly wings, and a pair of wings appeared on his back. Buzz! Lu Ming's muscles vibrated at least a few billion times per second. His body dashed forward at an indescribable speed. In the blink of an eye, he was already near Lan Kong. Chapter 2367. Lan Kong turned pale with fright. With a roar, he unleashed his full strength and blasted a blow at Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming's punch shattered Lan Kang's attack. The terrifying fist force blasted towards Lan Kong like a torrential storm. Kacha! Lu Ming's fist bombarded Lan Kang's fist. Lan Kang's fist directly exploded, turning into blood, flesh, and bones that flew everywhere. The surging fist force continued to bombard Lan Kang's body. Lan Kong screamed as his body flew a few hundred miles away, crashing into a mountain peak. Lan Kong had just broken through to 4-star Great Emperor. The difference between Lu Ming and him was too great. It was a complete suppression. How can this be? How can this be? Lan Kong roared hysterically as he retreated frantically. At the same time, his aura erupted without any concealment, alarming the beings in the heaven domain. In the distance, the beings in the heaven domain noticed the commotion and rushed over. From afar, they saw a shocking scene. Lan Kong was being chased by Lu Ming. Everyone help. Lu Ming harbors a grudge and wants to kill me, Lan Kong roared. Lu Ming had a faint smile on his face as he walked towards Lan Kong unhurriedly. Didn't Lan Kong want to let him know what despair was? Then let him have a taste of despair. What? The beings in the heaven domain in the distance were dumbfounded, looking incredulous. Lu Ming wanted to kill Lan Kong. Didn't Lan Kong break through to 4-star Great Emperor? How did he end up in such a state? How can this be? Scream, scream. Let's see who can save you today. Lu Ming was calm and unruffled as he slowly approached Lan Kong. Lu Ming, you can't kill me. I've broken through to 4-star Great Emperor. I'm the main force against the evil god tribe. You can't kill me. If you kill me, Everyone in the heaven domain will die. Lan Kong screamed crazily. You're really stupid. Without you, everyone in the heaven domain will die. Where did you get your logic from? Do you think I'm just a decoration? Lu Ming was full of sarcasm. Lan Kong was tongue-tied. Given Lu Ming's battle prowess, would he still need Lan Kong? Most likely, Lan Kong alone would be enough to wipe out the entire evil god race. In the distance, the people from the heaven realm stopped and even turned around to avoid Lan Kong. Yes, Lu Ming was their only hope now. With Lu Ming, they would be able to leave this place alive. As for Lan Kong, he could go die. Everyone, Lan Kong has targeted me time and time again. Just now he ran to kill me. Tell me, should I kill him? Lu Ming looked at the creatures from the heaven realm. Damn it! Such a despicable person deserves to die. Immediately, someone opened his mouth and looked at Lan Kong with contempt. Then he nodded and bowed to Lu Ming. That's right, he deserves to die. Such a despicable person. If it weren't for my low cultivation, I would have killed him long ago. That's right, that's right. Everyone else echoed. What a joke. Now that Lu Ming's strength was far beyond Lan Kang's, they needed to rely on Lu Ming to leave this place alive. Naturally, they would rely on Lu Ming. As for Lan Kong, who was he? You, Lan Kong roared, his eyes filled with despair. Boom! Lu Ming threw a punch. The terrifying fist force crushed toward Lan Kong as if it could topple the mountains and trample the seas. Bam! Lan Kang's body was like a broken sack, flying far away and crashing into a mountain peak. He spat out large mouthfuls of blood, and his aura was extremely weak. Now, do you know what despair is? Lu Ming stood on top of Lan Kang's head and said coldly. Lan Kong kept spitting out blood, and the despair in his eyes intensified. At this moment, he was not only worried about his own life, but also about the Lan family. Lu Ming was too perverted. Moreover, he had great luck. Before entering the Void Sacred Island, Lu Ming's strength was only on par with Lan Yu. It would take a lot of effort to defeat Lan Yu. But now, after entering the Void Sacred Island for 2 years, Lu Ming's strength had skyrocketed to such an extent that he could crush a 4-star great emperor. This was simply shocking. 2 years was just a blink of an eye for a great emperor. A great emperor would need tens of thousands of years to break through to the next level. It could even take hundreds of thousands of years. However, Lu Ming had skyrocketed to such an extent in just 2 years. If he continued to grow, the Lan family would definitely be destroyed. At this moment, he really wanted to tell the Lan family's heavenly emperor and Lan family's old ancestor to bury the hatchet with Lu Ming and resolve the grudge with Lu Ming. If they could not resolve the grudge, they would have to eliminate Lu Ming at all costs. Otherwise, the Lan family would be destroyed in a few years' time. Unfortunately, he was destined not to be able to say these words. Be on your way, Lu Ming said coldly. He took a step forward, and a terrifying power erupted, drowning Lan Kong. Lan Kong was dead. Following that, Lu Ming kept Lan Kang's storage ring. He scanned it with his spiritual consciousness and found that there was a disc array in Lan Kang's storage ring. Who else has a disc array? Give it to me. Lu Ming looked at the beings of the heavenly realm. I have one. I have one. 2 beings of the heavenly realm walked out and took out a disc array each. This way, Lu Ming had 4 disc arrays in his hands. It seems like the other disc arrays are in the hands of the evil god tribe. It's time to leave this place, Lu Ming muttered. He then looked at Emperor Wu Xiang and the other 2 and smiled. 3 deans, let's make a trip to the strange races. All right. Emperor Wu Xiang and the other 2 were excited. Immediately, Lu Ming took the lead and they headed in the direction of the strange races. Lu Ming has gone to kill the strange races. Let's go and take a look. Haha, we can go out now. The beings of the heavenly realm were overjoyed and they quickly followed behind Lu Ming. Soon, they arrived at the place where the strange races were gathered. Whoosh! Whoosh! figures flashed in front of them. Almost 100 strange races gathered together and looked at Lu Ming and the others. Ants of the heavenly realm, you are finally here. Let us fight it out. Among the strange races, an extremely burly evil god tribe member said coldly. The aura emitted from his body was extremely shocking. It was equivalent to a 4-star great emperor. Bam! Bam! After arriving, Lu Ming's figure did not stop. He stepped on the void and walked toward the strange races. A little brat dares to be so bold. He's courting death. I'll kill him. A skinny strange race member with 4 arms rushed toward Lu Ming. This kind of alien race was known for their speed. They were extremely fast. His figure flashed a few times and he disappeared from the spot. The next moment, for beams of light suddenly appeared beside Lu Ming and slashed at his vital points. However, Lu Ming stood there as if he did not know that someone was attacking him. Just as the 4 sharp lights were about to slash Lu Ming's body, Lu Ming suddenly stretched out his hand and grabbed at the void. In an instant, all the sharp lights disappeared and a shocking scene appeared. Chapter 2368. Lu Ming clasped the neck of the alien race member with one hand. The alien race member was like a baby struggling madly. His 2 legs for limbs and arms kept flailing. His face was flushed red and his eyes were popping out. A 2-star great monarch can't even withstand a single blow. Lu Ming said indifferently, Asterisk hiss hiss hiss. Asterisk the heaven domain side was still fine, but the foreign race's side was filled with gasps. A 2-star great emperor who was astonishingly fast was as vulnerable as a baby in Lu Ming's hands. How was this possible? Everyone's eyes narrowed, including the 4-star great monarch. It seems like you're the one who broke through to the 4-star great monarch realm. The 4-star great monarch said. Lu Ming smiled faintly, declining to comment. It was normal for the other party to think that he was the 4-star great monarch. Other than a 4-star great monarch, who else had the strength to take down a 2-star great monarch so easily? Not even a 3-star great monarch. Bang! Lu Ming's palm exploded with force, killing the skinny foreign being. At the side, Emperor Wu Xiang, Emperor Han Tian, and Emperor Tianhua exclaimed. Unknowingly, Lu Ming had grown to such a level. Killing a 2-star great monarch was like killing an ant to him. That was a 2-star great emperor. In the primal mountain, that was an overlord of a region. He was a high and mighty figure that suppressed all directions. Then let's have a battle to the death. The 4-star martial monarch stepped forth as a battle axe appeared in his hands. A powerful aura burst forth from him. I'm done playing with you guys. Let's end this. Lu Ming muttered. The muscles on his body began to vibrate violently. Whoosh! Lu Ming's figure dashed forward. His speed was faster than anyone could react. In an instant, he was in front of the 4-star great monarch. How is this possible? The 4-star great monarch's eyes widened. He was almost scared to death. He then unleashed all his strength to defend himself. Boom! Lu Ming threw a punch, and the overwhelming force of the punch blasted toward the alien race in front of him. Bang! The outsider was sent flying, and a large hole appeared in his body. He coughed up large mouthfuls of blood, and his aura withered. He had been seriously injured by Lu Ming in a single move. Run! The other outsiders reacted and were almost scared to death. They then turned and ran. They understood that they had encountered an opponent that they couldn't defeat. Even a 4-star great sovereign was severely injured by a single move. If they were to go against him, only death would await them. Kill! Lu Ming let out a long howl and leaped forward to kill. His fists continuously blasted out. A series of fists streaked across the sky and blasted toward the non-humans. Among the foreign races, there were a few 3-star great emperors who were struck by Lu Ming's fist force. They were killed instantly and exploded in the air. Kill! Wu Xiang, Great Emperor, roared, and together with Chaos Heaven Great Emperor and Heaven Fire Great Emperor, they charged towards the non-human kind. Let's attack together! The other beings from the heaven realm also roared and charged toward the outsiders. Only by killing all the outsiders would they be able to leave. This concerned their lives, so naturally they all unleashed their full power. This was a massacre, and there were no surprises. Lu Ming's figure flickered continuously. Every time he flickered, a few non-humankind beings would be killed by him, and their storage rings would be collected by him. You won't be able to escape. Lu Ming stared at the 4-star Great Emperor. This outsider wanted to escape, but he had been severely injured by Lu Ming in a single move. There was no way he could escape. Lu Ming rushed forward and killed this outsider in 2 moves. After collecting his storage bracelet, he turned around and killed the other non-humankind beings. The non-humankind beings fled for their lives, but they couldn't escape at all. Lu Ming and the others caught up and killed them one by one. After a while, all the non-humankind beings present were killed by Lu Ming and the others. Take a look and see if there are any formation plates in their storage bracelets. Lu Ming instructed. He took out the storage bracelets he had obtained from the non-humankind beings and checked them. Without a doubt, Lu Ming had obtained the most storage bracelets. There were a total of 50 to 60 storage bracelets. In the end, Lu Ming found 3 formation plates. The others found one as well. 8 formation plates were gathered. The formation spirit said that we have to kill everyone on the other side before we can leave. There might be some non-humankind beings who escaped and are hiding somewhere. During this period of time, you guys should look around and find those who escaped. Lu Ming said. The others nodded. Right now, Lu Ming was undoubtedly the most powerful person. Naturally, the rest would listen to him instinctively. The creatures of the heaven realm formed groups of a few people and spread out to search for the fish that escaped the net. Of course, Lu Ming couldn't be bothered with such things. He found a place to cultivate and comprehend the laws in peace. Now, the reincarnation laws and primordial laws had both reached the 3rd realm. Lu Ming began to plan to comprehend the other strongest laws. Next, Lu Ming chose the eternal laws and began to comprehend them. The more laws he comprehended, the easier it was for Lu Ming to comprehend the laws. After a few days, he had mastered the eternal laws. Time passed day by day, and in the blink of an eye, 3 months had passed. In these 3 months, the people from the heaven realm had searched this area. As expected, there were some non-humankind beings who escaped and were found and killed one by one. Now, they concluded that there were no non-humankind beings who escaped. At this moment, everyone gathered and flew towards the door that they had entered from. As soon as they arrived, the figure of the young formation spirit appeared. I didn't expect you to complete my request so quickly. How boring. The formation spirit sighed. Everyone's hearts skipped a beat. Would the formation spirit go back on his word and make some strange requests? You won't go back on your word, right? Lu Ming asked. Of course not. Although I'm bored, I'm a man of my word. Take out the formation plates. The formation spirit pursed his lips and said. Lu Ming waved his hand, and 8 formation plates appeared. The formation spirit stretched out his hand, and a ray of light flashed. The 8 formation plates vibrated and emitted a bright light. They flew towards the door and merged with it. Crack! The door opened. Everyone was overjoyed. Let's go! Someone was overjoyed and rushed out. This time, there was no obstruction. That person rushed out of the door and disappeared. Let's go, let's go! The rest of the people rushed out of the door. Lu Ming, Emperor Wu Xiang, and the others did the same. When they rushed out of the door, they found that they had already left the huge tower and were outside. How boring! The formation spirit's voice came from the huge tower. Then the huge tower door closed. "Let's go, deans," Lu Ming said, and left with the 3 deans. The others also left. Next, Lu Ming, Emperor Wu Xiang, Emperor Hun Tian, and Emperor Tian were headed towards the depths of the void sacred island. Roar! Chapter 2369. With a roar, the sky changed color and the earth shook. A terrifying, murderous aura spread from the front. Lu Ming, Emperor Wu Xiang, Emperor Hun Tian, and Emperor Tianhua were shocked. The reason for that was because that roar gave off an extremely terrifying feeling. It made one's hair stand on end. Swoosh! Swoosh! Following that, Lu Ming and the rest saw streaks of rainbow lights flying toward them from the distant sky. They were flying from the depths of the void sacred island. There was an expert in each of the rainbow lights, and each of them was extremely terrifying. None of them were weaker than Lan Kong. This meant that these people were all high-level great emperors. Some of them had a terrifying aura that made Lu Ming's heart skip a beat. Peak great emperors. Lu Ming judged that a few of them had reached the peak great emperor realm. There were beings from the heaven boundary and the evil god tribe among them. But now, these people seemed to have encountered something terrifying and were running for their lives. Roar! Another roar came from the depths of the void sacred island. Then, a huge creature appeared in the sky. A huge white tiger stood on the ground. Its back was taller than the mountains. With a roar, the mountains exploded. Even though they were far away, Lu Ming and the others felt a terrifying pressure coming at them. Could it be one of the legendary 4 divine beasts, the white tiger? Emperor Wu Xiang cried out in shock. What? The 4 divine beasts? The expressions of Lu Ming and the rest changed drastically. The 4 divine beasts were the azure dragon, vermilion bird, white tiger, and black tortoise. Legend had it that the 4 divine beasts were ancient divine beasts in the heaven boundary. They were extremely powerful and were on the same level as the top 10 battle beasts. There were legends of the 4 divine beasts in various places. However, they weren't the legendary 4 divine beasts. They only had the bloodline of the 4 divine beasts. Could it be that one had really appeared? Impossible. The real 4 divine beasts are on the same level as the top 10 battle beasts. Although this one is powerful, it's not that powerful. Lu Ming's expression changed. Roar! The white tiger's roar was as loud as thunder. It stomped on the ground with all 4 of its limbs, causing the mountains to crumble and the rocks to shake the sky. Its huge body rushed towards the fleeing experts. Its eyes turned silver white, and 2 silver-white sword lights slashed out. A miserable shriek was heard. An existence that was at least a 5-star great sovereign was killed in the air by 2 sword lights. He had no power to resist at all. Let's go! Lu Ming roared and turned to flee with Emperor Wu Xiang and the others. However, the people behind them, as well as the white tiger, were astonishingly fast. The distance between them and them was rapidly closing. How unlucky! Lu Ming, Emperor Wu Xiang, and the others sighed inwardly. They had just escaped from the array formation, yet they encountered such a terrifying white tiger. They were truly unlucky. Let's not go in the same direction as those people, Emperor Wu Xiang shouted. There was probably a reason why the white tiger was chasing after those people. Immediately, they changed their direction and rushed to the side. There was a risk in doing so. Once the white tiger targeted them, it would be easier for it to catch up to them. However, they had no other choice now. With their strength, they definitely couldn't outrun those 5-star great sovereigns, or even peak great sovereigns. If they continued to run and the white tiger caught up to them, they would probably be slapped to death. They could only take the risk. They had made the right bet. The white tiger roared and didn't target them. Instead, it chased after the strongest experts. Lu Ming and the others didn't stop. They ran for a distance before stopping. At this point, the white tiger had already chased after the others. It seems like the white tiger has targeted the strongest experts. Those people must have offended the white tiger, Emperor Hun Tian guessed. I didn't expect the void sacred island to have such a terrifying white tiger. This white tiger's strength is definitely above the great sovereign realm. Could it be a heavenly emperor? Emperor Wu Xiang said. Everyone's expression was solemn. Heavenly emperors couldn't enter the void sacred island. If the white tiger was really a heavenly emperor, then it would be terrifying. No one would be able to defeat it. Immediately, they left this place and ran into the distance, wanting to get away from the white tiger. However, a few hours later, their expressions changed drastically. This was because there was an extremely sharp cry in front of them. It pierced through space and time. A large group of people ran for their lives. Some were from the heavenly realm, and some were from the evil god tribe. Behind these people, a huge phoenix spread its wings and chased after them. Vermilion bird. Lu Ming and the others looked at each other. Their voices were hoarse. First they saw the white tiger. Now they saw the vermilion bird. Could it be that all the divine beasts had appeared? Let's go. Without hesitation, the four of them turned and ran. This time they were experienced and ran in another direction. Indeed, the vermilion bird was chasing after the strongest group. Not long after, they successfully escaped. The white tiger and vermilion bird have both appeared. What happened in the depths of the void sacred island? Lu Ming and the others were puzzled. Next, they found a secluded place to hide. In the next few days, they would hear terrifying roars from time to time. A few days later, the roars disappeared. At this time, they came out of their hiding place and met some experts. Many of them were high-level great emperors. They asked the other party and found out a lot. In the past few years, the great emperors of the heavenly realm and the evil god tribe had been roaming the void sacred island, fighting and searching for treasures. Although the void sacred island was large, it had been almost completely searched in the past few years. Some time ago, everyone found a secret place. That place was suspected to be the core of the void sacred island. It was very likely that it was the place where the owner of the void sacred island would preach. This discovery was truly incredible. What kind of person was the owner of the void sacred island? He should be someone who surpassed the heavenly emperor. If it was really the place where he preached, there would be great opportunities. Many experts gathered, intending to enter that place to explore. However, there were actually 4 terrifying divine beasts guarding that place. They were exactly the same as the legendary 4 divine beasts. However, their fighting strength was not as strong as the legendary 4 divine beasts. They should have barely reached the heavenly emperor realm. Even if they had reached the heavenly emperor realm, they were not people that the great emperors could contend with. The 4 divine beasts had gone berserk. A large number of experts from the heavenly realm and the evil god tribe had fallen. The remaining people were chased by the 4 divine beasts. That was why Lu Ming and the others had encountered the void sacred island. Now, the 4 divine beasts are roaming the depths of the void sacred island. All the experts have retreated from the depths of the void sacred island. They do not dare to go in. Otherwise, it will be extremely dangerous. A high-level, great emperor sighed. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. Originally, his fighting strength had increased greatly. He had planned to explore the void sacred island and try his luck. It seemed like he could only cancel this plan and stay in the periphery of the void sacred island. There must be opportunities in the core area. Now, many experts are hiding in the periphery of the void sacred island, waiting for an opportunity to strike. Chapter 2370. Lu Ming could only give up on the idea of entering the void sacred island. They found a secluded place to hide and cultivate in peace. To the current Lu Ming, comprehending the laws here was a great opportunity. It could save him a lot of time. Even if he couldn't get other opportunities, Lu Ming was satisfied. Lu Ming comprehended the laws in peace. Emperor Wuxian and the others were focused on refining the great Tao fragments. They hoped to take another step forward and become a 3-star great emperor. Just like that, the days passed one by one. During this time, Emperor Wuxian, Emperor Han Tian, and Emperor Tianhuo would take turns to go out and gather information to investigate the current situation. Now, on the void sacred island, whether it was the living beings of the heaven realm or the experts of the other races, they were like them. They were hiding and didn't dare to move. This was because there were 4 terrifying divine beasts in the depths of the void sacred island. 2 of them were guarding the core area, and the other 2 were roaming around. Once they found the living beings of the heaven realm or the evil god tribe, they would immediately start a massacre. Therefore, it was impossible for those experts to have any ideas about the core area. As for Lu Ming, he also cultivated in peace. He didn't care about anything else. To Lu Ming, the void sacred island was more useful than any holy land for cultivation. If he left the void sacred island, where could he find such a good holy land for cultivation? However, there was one thing that Lu Ming wouldn't forget. That was the Heavenly Emperor's physical body. Previously, in the giant tower, Lu Ming had killed a large number of evil god tribe members. There were a total of 50 to 60 of them. The storage rings of these evil god tribe members had all fallen into his hands. These evil god tribe members were all great emperors. Their storage rings contained a large number of black crystals. Moreover, the quality was very high and they contained a lot of energy. Although it was very difficult for the living beings of the heaven realm to absorb these crystals, the Heavenly Emperor's physical body could absorb and store the energy. Lu Ming split a portion of his attention to control the Heavenly Emperor's physical body to absorb the energy of these crystals and store it. Just like that, time flew. Spring went and autumn came. 5 years passed in a flash. This could be said to be the longest seclusion Lu Ming had ever cultivated. This closed-door seclusion, Lu Ming's harvest, was very great. Lu Ming had cultivated the laws of eternity, the laws of nothingness, and the laws of space to the 3rd realm. However, the remaining 2 laws of the top 10, the law of fate and the law of karma, were extremely difficult to cultivate. The laws of fate were extremely mysterious and difficult to grasp. Lu Ming had tried several times, but he did not manage to grasp them. As for the laws of karma, they were generally something that only Buddhists would be able to comprehend. Buddhism emphasized the cycle of karma. Without such a state of mind, it was very difficult to comprehend. However, Lu Ming had already cultivated 8 of his strongest laws to the 3rd level. His comprehension of the laws had reached an astonishing level. By relying on his amazing perception, Lu Ming had managed to comprehend the karma laws. Not only that, but Lu Ming also comprehended other King Tao laws in these 5 years. For example, the indestructible ancient scripture required the law of undying flame, the law of Vajra, and the law of kings. Lu Ming had cultivated a total of 3 law of kings to the 3rd level. Moreover, Lu Ming had also spent a large amount of time to fuse these laws and evolve them into divine abilities. In 5 years, not only did he comprehend 3 of his strongest laws and 3 law of kings to the 3rd level, but he also evolved them into divine abilities. This was absolutely impossible outside. It would probably take more than 100 years. But here, he had done it in 5 years. Now, Lu Ming already had 17 laws that had reached the 3rd level. When these 17 laws were fused together, the power was astonishing. However, it did not increase Lu Ming's battle strength by much. The main reason was that Lu Ming's current physical body realm was too high. With just his physical body, he could suppress a 4-star great emperor. In the great emperor realm, the higher one's strength was, the greater the gap between them. As for the laws, they were just laws after all. They could not be compared to the great Tao. No matter how many laws there were, it was still the same. Lu Ming might be able to rely on a large number of laws to challenge a 1-star great emperor or even a 2-star great emperor. However, the further he went, the harder it would be to challenge them with just laws. Unless Lu Ming used these laws to rush into the great emperor realm and evolve them into the great Tao, his power would skyrocket. However, Lu Ming did not have any plans to break through to the great emperor realm. At the very least, he wanted to cultivate all 10 of his strongest laws to the 3rd level. He even wanted to cultivate more of his Law of Kings to the 3rd level. When he broke through to the great emperor realm, his great Tao would be amazing. Lu Ming found it hard to imagine, but he was also looking forward to it. Therefore, Lu Ming estimated that if he went all out, he would be able to suppress a 5-star great emperor. However, he would definitely not be a match for a 6-star great emperor. As for the heavenly emperor's physical body, it had absorbed a large amount of black crystals from the evil god tribe. It had been filled with energy for a long time. Yes, the energy stored in the heavenly emperor's physical body had reached 100%. Now, with the heavenly emperor's physical body, he could compete with a peak great emperor. Swoosh! At this moment, a figure flashed over. It was Emperor Wu Xiang. Previously, Emperor Wu Xiang had gone out to gather information. When Emperor Wu Xiang returned, Emperor Hun Tian and Emperor Tian Hu also opened their eyes. Everyone, there's big news outside. Emperor Wu Xiang quickly said as soon as he returned. What news? Lu Ming's interest was piqued. During this period of time, the experts from the Heaven World and the Evil God Tribe have reached an agreement. They plan to join forces to deal with the 4 divine beasts and enter the core area. Emperor Wu Xiang said, "Join forces? The combat strength of the 4 divine beasts has reached the Heavenly Emperor realm. Even the weakest Heavenly Emperor is far stronger than a great emperor. Even if the 2 sides join forces, they won't be a match for a Heavenly Emperor." Emperor Tianhua was suspicious. Yes, but this matter has already alarmed the heavenly emperors outside the Void Sacred Island. The heavenly emperors from the Heaven World are planning to send 2 heavenly Tao soldiers to kill the 4 divine beasts. Emperor Wu Xiang said, "Heavenly Tao soldiers." Lu Ming and the others widened their eyes in shock. What a big deal. They were actually sending 2 heavenly Tao soldiers. Obviously, the heavenly emperors outside the Void Sacred Island valued the core area very much. It said that the heavenly emperors borrowed them from a few peerless experts. Also, the heavenly emperors from the Evil God Tribe also want to take out a few heavenly Tao soldiers of the same level to deal with the divine beasts. Emperor Wu Xiang said, "When are we going to take action?" Lu Ming asked, "At most half a month." Now, the experts from the Heaven World and the Evil God Tribe are discussing the specific plan of action. Emperor Wu Xiang said. Lu Ming pondered. In the end, he decided to make a trip. The core area could not be missed. The combat strength of the 4 divine beasts was barely at the Heavenly Emperor realm. If there were many peak great emperors activating the heavenly Tao soldiers, they might be able to kill the 4 divine beasts. At that time, they would be able to enter the core area. Now that Lu Ming's combat strength was not weak, his life-saving ability was even stronger. Moreover, he had the physical body of a heavenly emperor. It was not impossible for him to try his luck. Lu Ming, if you want to go, you must be careful. Emperor Wu Xiang and the others warned. Chapter 2371. Next, Lu Ming and the others ended their seclusion and paid close attention to the movements of the outside world. 10 days later, the experts of the Heaven Realm sent out a message to gather all the high-level great emperors and head to the core area together. It wasn't that those experts were so kind and wanted to reap the benefits together, but they needed strength. Even if they killed the 4 divine beasts, they would have to face the experts of the Evil God Tribe later. They had to increase their strength. Otherwise, they would be annihilated by the Evil God Tribe after killing the 4 divine beasts. Lu Ming bade farewell to Emperor Wu Xiang and the others and headed in a direction. After flying for a long distance, they arrived at a mountain valley. In comparison, this place was rather secretive. When Lu Ming arrived, he found that there were already many people gathered here. More than 300. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He was a little shocked. There were already more than 300 living beings gathered here. This number was very shocking. One had to know that almost all the people here were high-level great emperors. These people were from various races. The human race was the most, and there were also various divine beasts. Although most of them were in human form, Lu Ming could still sense them through their aura. He's Lu Ming. When Lu Ming arrived, someone recognized Lu Ming and revealed a look of shock. Lu Ming actually dared to come here. One had to know that those who could come here were high-level great emperors. Could it be that Lu Ming already had the strength of a high-level great emperor? Impossible. Most of them shook their heads, thinking that Lu Ming was just here to try his luck. However, there were a few people who looked serious. This was because the news of Lu Ming easily killing a 4-star great emperor expert in the giant tower had spread. Some of them had heard of this matter. Lu Ming arrived, walked to the side, and waited patiently. As time passed, more and more people came. Gradually, the number exceeded 500. Suddenly, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He saw a little Taoist looking around furtively. If it wasn't Dandan, who else could it be? Lu Ming's lips curled into a smile. Dandan had indeed come to the void sacred island. Wherever there were treasures, this guy would definitely be there. Dandan! Lu Ming called out. Who is it? Dandan jumped in fright and looked around. When it saw Lu Ming, it revealed a smile and flew over. So it's you. Why, have you broken through to the great emperor realm? You dare to come here? Dandan's attention to him. You! This guy was indeed one of the top 10 combat beasts. It was very knowledgeable and could tell some of Lu Ming's secrets at one glance. You've improved tremendously. Lu Ming laughed. Deep in his eyes, there was a hint of surprise. Dandan's cultivation was unfathomable in his eyes. Needless to say, this guy had reached the great emperor realm a long time ago. Moreover, he had reached a very high level. Ha ha ha, then you should know who I am. Dandan grinned. Of course. The two of them chatted through telepathy to prevent others from eavesdropping on their secrets. The two of them had not seen each other for a long time and were chatting casually. Later on, the number of people who came here gradually decreased. 3 days later, there were more than 600 people gathered here. They were all high-level great emperors and above. Any one of them would be an expert in the outside world. Everyone. At this moment, a group of people stepped out. There were about a dozen of them. Their auras were profound and unfathomable. They are all peak great emperors. Dandan sent a telepathic message to Lu Ming. Lu Ming nodded secretly. These people were probably the strongest group of people in the heaven boundary. A burly man with a bearded face looked like a lion. He looked around and said, "Let me introduce myself. My name is Hong Shi." He paused for a moment and said, "Now, let me tell you what we need to do. In the depths of the void sacred island, there's a place that is most likely the real dojo left behind by the owner of this island. However, there are indeed 4 divine beasts guarding it. The 4 divine beasts have the legendary bloodline of the 4 divine beasts. Their combat strength has reached the heavenly emperor realm. First, our goal is to get rid of the 4 divine beasts. Of the 4 divine beasts, 2 have been guarding the core area, while the other 2 have been patrolling and cruising outside. Therefore, we only need to get rid of 2 of them. As for the 2 cruising beasts, we only need to send someone to attract their attention." Send someone to attract their attention? Many people's faces darkened. It was definitely very dangerous to send someone to attract the 2 cruising divine beasts. Who would be willing to do it? Hongshur saw through everyone's thoughts and said with a smile, "You don't have to worry about this. We have already sent people out. They are all experts in speed and life-saving abilities. They will be enough to attract that divine beast for a period of time. As for the other divine beast, we will leave it to the evil god tribe. This time we've discussed it with the evil god tribe. Of the 4 divine beasts, each side will deal with 2. Now that the one roaming outside has been dealt with, the next step is to deal with the 2 divine beasts guarding the core area. Similarly, we and the evil god tribe will deal with 1 divine beast each. In the end, we will enter the core area and fight for the treasures with our own abilities." Hongshur spoke a long string of words, and everyone nodded, understanding the gist of it. "It's about time. Let's set off now." After Hongshur finished speaking, he took the lead and flew toward the void, sacred island. More than 600 experts followed him. They had already sent someone to attract the attention of 1 divine beast. Naturally, they knew the safe route. Therefore, they were very fast and flew toward the void, sacred island. They were not afraid of encountering the divine beast. A day later, they had already arrived at the central area of the void, sacred island. Here, they slowed down. Soon, they came to a mountain peak and looked into the distance. There was an area in front. It was misty, as if it was shrouded in fog. Even with their eyesight, they could not see through the fog. There was only a huge arched door in the south. This arched door was open. From afar, they could see a stone staircase behind the arched door. This is the core area. However, the fog is formed by a great array. We can't enter at all. If we want to enter, we can only go through that arched door. However, as long as we appear, those 2 divine beasts will also appear. Therefore, we have to deal with those 2 divine beasts first. Hongshur explained, "The people from the evil god tribe should also be here. I will go and contact the people from the evil god tribe. Later, we will move together and deal with 1 divine beast each." A white-haired old man said. Then his figure flashed and he left. Not long after, the white-haired old man returned. "The people from the evil god tribe have arrived. 10 minutes later, we will attack together," the white-haired old man said. Everyone nodded and waited patiently. In the blink of an eye, 10 minutes passed. "Let's go," Hongshur said. Everyone retracted their auras and flew toward the core area. Chapter 2372. So many people. Many people's hearts sank. They realized that there were about 900 people from the evil god tribe, which was a few hundred more than them. The experts from both sides quickly got close to the core. Boom! 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 Just as Lu Ming and the rest were nearing the core area, there was a violent roar in the fog. The ground was shaking continuously. Then a huge monster appeared. It was a huge tortoise. This tortoise was even bigger than a mountain. It had a thick tortoise shell on its back, a dragon head, and a snake tail. It was very similar to one of the 4 legendary divine beasts, the black tortoise. Roar! The black tortoise let out a loud roar, and the ground shook. Countless rocks started to move, turning into stone swords that slashed at them. "Sacrifice the Heaven Dao soldier!" Hongshur shouted. He waved his hand, and a purple-gold battle sword appeared, emitting a shocking aura and pressure. 5 or 6 peak great emperors attacked together, and their great Daos and world energy infused into the purple-gold battle sword. The purple-gold battle sword let out a sword cry, and it grew rapidly. This was the Heaven Dao soldier. 5 or 6 peak great emperors joined forces to control the Heaven Dao soldier. Although they couldn't unleash the full power of the Heaven Dao soldier, it was still terrifying. Kung! The purple-gold battle sword vibrated, and a faint Heaven Dao pressure spread out. At the same time, purple sword chi burst out, shattering the stone swords of the black tortoise. In addition, some peak great emperors took out another Heaven Dao soldier. This time they borrowed a total of 2 Heaven Dao soldiers. The second Heaven Dao soldier was a round bead. It was as black as ink, but its power was also terrifying. 7 or 8 peak great emperors controlled this Heaven Dao soldier. The black bead became huge, and it suppressed the black tortoise. More than 10 peak great emperors controlled 2 Heaven Dao soldiers to attack the black tortoise. The black tortoise roared, and a shocking aura burst out. The ground shook, and endless rocks and soil formed all kinds of attacks, attacking the 2 Heaven Dao soldiers. An intense battle broke out between the 2 sides. Roar! At the same time, a dragon roar came from another direction. A huge azure dragon appeared, and its body was winding. Its aura was wild, and it charged at the evil god tribe. The evil god tribe also took out 2 Heaven Dao soldiers, and they fought with the azure dragon. Boom! Boom! On the Heaven Realm side, the 2 Heavenly Dao soldiers exploded with terrifying power. This kind of power had completely surpassed the Great Emperor level and entered the Heavenly Emperor level. The 2 Heavenly Dao soldiers attacked at the same time. They immediately destroyed some of the black tortoise's attacks and attacked it. Clang! A purplish gold sword beam slashed at the black tortoise. However, the black tortoise moved its body, and the sword beam slashed at the tortoise shell, leaving only a shallow mark on it. Such a strong defense! The people from the Heaven Realm had ugly expressions on their faces. Boom! At this moment, the black bead also came crashing down, but the black tortoise still managed to avoid being hit in its vitals. When the bead hit the tortoise shell, the black tortoise only trembled slightly and was forced back a few steps. At this moment, a wail rang out from afar. The azure dragon had been struck by the evil god tribe's battle weapon, and a deep wound had appeared on its body. Now that the azure dragon was injured, the evil god race gained the upper hand. Damn it, our luck is too bad. We actually encountered the black tortoise. Hong Shi roared furiously, somewhat unwilling to accept this. It was not that the black tortoise was stronger than the azure dragon. The difference in strength between the two was not big. With the 2 Heavenly Dao soldiers, they should be able to suppress the other party and even kill it. However, the black tortoise's defense was too strong. The black tortoise was known for its defense. The black tortoise's defense was far above the azure dragon's, and its vitality was tenacious. It was even harder to deal with. Before they attacked, they were afraid of encountering the black tortoise. Unexpectedly, they really encountered it. Everyone attack together! Hong Shi roared, calling for everyone to attack. Kill, kill! Everyone made their move. There were more than 600 of them, and all of them were high-level great sovereigns. When they attacked together, their power was shocking. Beams of dazzling light bombarded the black tortoise. However, the black tortoise's head and limbs directly retracted into its tortoise shell. When all the attacks landed on its tortoise shell, only intense rumbles could be heard. The black tortoise was completely fine. It could not break the other party's defense at all. More than 10 peak great emperors controlled the Heavenly Dao soldiers to attack, but they were also blocked by the other party. However, the moment the people from the Heaven Realm stopped attacking or weakened their attacks, the black tortoise would immediately counterattack. With the black tortoise's strength, it was a great threat to them. Not far away, the azure dragon let out a mournful cry. Another wound appeared on its body. The azure dragon's defense was far inferior to the black tortoise's. At this moment, it was retreating step by step. It was only a matter of time before it was defeated. Ha ha ha! This treasure land will belong to us. The people from the evil god tribe laughed heartily. As long as they killed the azure dragon first and entered the core area first, the treasures in the core area would be theirs. Attack together! On the evil god tribe's side, they also called for everyone to attack together. With 800 to 900 high-level great emperors attacking together. It was simply apocalyptic. Immediately, the azure dragon's injuries worsened. Wounds kept appearing on its body, and its aura became weaker and weaker. It was increasingly not a match for them. Damn it! On the Heaven Realm's side, many people roared angrily. If this continued, they would not be able to obtain anything. Wouldn't the evil god tribe benefit from this? Even if they benefited others, they could not let the evil god tribe benefit. It seems like I have to personally take action. At the side, Dandan spoke. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Dandan was one of the top 10 battle beasts, the world divine turtle. It was also a turtle, and it was a peak existence among the turtle species. Even the real black tortoise was only on par with Dandan, not to mention that this one only had some of the bloodline of the real black tortoise. Dandan soared into the sky, and its body underwent a drastic change. It directly turned into a giant turtle. Then its body grew bigger and bigger, almost filling up the entire sky. The turtle's shell was covered with mysterious patterns, as if it was a world of its own. Junior, why aren't you kneeling when you see me? Dandan looked at the black tortoise, and a huge pressure pressed down on the black tortoise. The black tortoise's eyes were filled with shock and fear. This was the fear of a lower being facing a higher being. Although Dandan's cultivation was inferior to the other parties, the world divine turtle was definitely at the top of the turtle species. Attack! At this moment, Hong Shi and the others seized the opportunity to control the heavenly Tao soldier and attack the black tortoise. The black tortoise was intimidated by Dandan's aura. Its mind was shaken, and its movements were much slower. Instantly its head was hit. Poof! The purple gold, heavenly Tao soldier, was incomparably huge. The entire sword was inserted into the black tortoise's head. The black tortoise's turtle shell had astonishing defensive power. However, its head and limbs had very weak defensive power, even weaker than other divine beasts. They were its weak points. Chapter 2373. The others immediately seized the opportunity and launched a fierce attack. Boom! The huge black bead pressed down and bombarded the black tortoise's head, causing it to be injured even more. Following that, the attacks of the experts from the Heaven Realm also landed on the wound on the black tortoise's head, causing it to be injured even more. Roar! The black tortoise howled. Finally, its huge body charged towards the crowd. Everyone's expression changed. The black tortoise fought back with all its might. If they were hit by it, they would definitely be smashed into pieces. Everyone dodged. The black tortoise took the opportunity to retract its 4 limbs and head into its shell. Then, like a ball, it actually rolled into the distance and escaped. Everyone looked at each other. They didn't expect the black tortoise to escape directly. Everyone thought that the black tortoise would protect this place with its life. Perhaps it was the effect of the world turtle. Everyone looked at Dandan and guessed in their hearts. The black tortoise might have been frightened by the world turtle. In addition, it was heavily injured, so it escaped. Dandan had been wandering in the Heaven Realm all these years. Many people had already heard of his name. Haha, the black tortoise has escaped. Let's go in. Someone laughed loudly and rushed towards the arched door. Damn it! The people from the evil god tribe roared. They originally thought that they would have the upper hand, but they didn't expect that the Heaven Realm would have the upper hand. Kill, kill, kill! The people from the evil god tribe were anxious and attacked with all their might. Instantly, the injuries of the azure dragon became even more serious. Its dragon claws were cut off. Lu Ming and the others had already arrived at the door. The arched door was very huge. It was at least 10,000 meters tall. A few hundred of them could easily pass through. Their eyes were burning as they rushed into the arched door. At this moment, Dandan had already transformed into his human form and rushed into the arched door with Lu Ming. Behind the arched door was a mountain. In front of them, there was a stone staircase that led to the top of the mountain. As soon as they walked into the arched door, they immediately felt an incomparably terrifying pressure. That pressure was the same as the pressure in other places of the void, divine island. It could suppress the heavenly Tao. However, the pressure here was even stronger. In other places they could still fly, but here they found that they couldn't fly. Even walking was difficult. Bang! Bang! Someone took a step forward and walked up the stone staircase with difficulty. Since he couldn't fly, he could only walk. Lu Ming and Dandan also climbed up the stone stairs. That pressure was too strong. Their walking speed was extremely slow. Only the peak martial monarchs fared better. They were the fastest, climbing the stairs one step at a time. Some 4-star great emperors were as slow as snails. Lu Ming's speed was considered above average among these people. Lu Ming, your speed can't keep up. Dandan took a few steps forward. His speed wasn't any slower than those peak stage great emperors. Dandan, you've become a peak great emperor? Lu Ming asked. No, 6-star martial monarchs, but I'm sure my strength is on par with theirs. Dandan looked confident. Everyone used all their strength to climb, but not long after. The members of the evil god race still managed to rush in. Evidently, the Azure Dragon was also killed by them. The 800 to 900 members of the evil god race also started to climb, but they were also under great pressure. However, some of the peak stage great emperors were still very fast. They continued to move forward and soon surpassed the 4-star great emperors of the heaven domain. What is that? A statue. After walking for a while, they saw a body at the end of the stone stairs. It was obviously a statue. The statue was of a middle-aged man. Although it was just a statue, it still had a domineering aura. That pressure seems to be coming from that statue. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He really had this feeling. It seemed that the pressure was coming from that statue and was even spreading throughout the entire void, sacred island. After a while, the peak stage great emperor of the heaven domain who was walking at the front had finished climbing the stone stairs. He walked to the top and disappeared. Everyone was anxious and climbed with all their strength. After a while, Lu Ming finally reached the end of the stone stairs and reached the top. There were also some peak stage great emperors of the evil god race who were similar to him. At the end of the stone stairs was the peak of the mountain. However, there was nothing here except for a statue. The statue emitted a terrifying pressure. The dozen or so peak stage great emperors of the heaven domain who had stepped on the stone stairs earlier stood under the statue with a gloomy expression. Boom! Boom! After arriving here, the pressure was even stronger. Every step they took would cause the ground to rumble. What's going on? What did you get here? An expert of the evil god race questioned the experts of the heaven domain. There's nothing. There's nothing on this mountain top except for this statue. A peak stage great emperor of the heaven domain said. There's nothing. The experts of the evil god race had gloomy expressions. They had borrowed the heavenly Tao weapon and spent a lot of effort to come here. In the end, there was nothing. It would be strange if their expressions were good. This statue, what race does it belong to? As for Lu Ming, he sized up the statue, curiously. Now he was completely sure that the terrifying pressure of the entire void sacred island, which could suppress the heavenly Tao, was coming from this statue. It was just a statue, but it could emit such terrifying pressure. It was really shocking. Needless to say, this statue was most likely carved by the master of the void sacred island, that supreme existence. In fact, it might have been carved by that supreme existence himself. Moreover, this statue had a very strange appearance. This statue was in the shape of a human. It was a middle-aged man and was very handsome. However, there was a pair of snow-white wings on his back. The wings were covered with snow-white feathers. When they spread out, they were full of pressure. His hands were pressed on the hilt of a huge battle sword. The battle sword was inserted into the ground. Could the master of this statue be a bird-type divine beast? Lu Ming guessed. That's not right. Normally, if a divine beast leaves a statue behind, it will leave behind a statue of the divine beast's original body. However, for this kind of human-shaped divine beast with wings, they usually won't leave it like this. I guess that the original body of this existence looks like this. Dandan said, The original body looks like this? There doesn't seem to be such a race in the heaven domain or the primordial realm. There shouldn't be such a race in the evil god race either. Lu Ming was full of doubts. Maybe it's a race that appeared countless years ago, or maybe it's from other worlds. No one knows if there are other worlds in this world besides the heaven domain, primordial realm, and evil god realm. Dandan said, Other worlds. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Suddenly, his imagination ran wild. While they were chatting and observing, more people climbed up the stone stairs and looked around curiously. Unfortunately, they found nothing. There was really nothing on the mountain top except for this statue. Chapter 2374. Both sides faced each other and were cautious, but they did not attack. Now there was nothing here. If they fought and got nothing, wouldn't it be a loss? Maybe this statue has a secret. After a while, someone spoke and stared at the statue again. There was nothing here other than that statue. If there was an opportunity, it could only fall on this statue. I'll break it. A cold voice sounded, and an extremely burly evil god tribe member stepped out. In his hand was a battle axe. It was as black as ink, but it emitted a terrifying sharpness. Heavenly Tao soldier. Everyone was shocked. All Taos returned to one. Whether it was the nomological system, the ancient cultivation system, or the evil god tribe, they would all come into contact with the heavenly Tao at the end of their cultivation. In other words, after reaching the heavenly emperor realm, the various major systems were actually very similar. The heavenly Tao soldier contained the heavenly Tao and was the supreme weapon common to all systems. The supreme weapon used by the evil god tribe was also the heavenly Tao soldier. Lend me a hand. The burly evil god tribe member looked at the other evil god tribe members. Immediately, 5 or 6 evil god tribe members walked out. They were all Peak the Arch existences. A total of 7 Peak the Arch evil god tribe members controlled the battle axe at the same time. Buzz! The battle axe vibrated violently, revealing its sharpness. The aura of the heavenly Tao was emitted, causing a huge pressure to press down on everyone. But at this moment, something strange happened. The battle axe that had been rapidly expanding seemed to have been frightened and started to shrink. In the end, it became the size of an ordinary battle axe and fell to the ground. There was no powerful aura at all, and it was like an ordinary axe. Everyone was dumbfounded. The pressure here is too strong. The aura of the heavenly Tao soldier spread out and was directly suppressed by the pressure here. Someone guessed. Everyone was shocked. It was very likely that this was the case. The pressure on the Void Divine Island was supreme and surpassed the heavenly Tao. It could suppress the heavenly Tao and prevent heavenly emperors from entering. And here, the pressure was extremely strong. It was normal for it to be able to suppress the heavenly Tao soldier. The few experts who had borrowed the heavenly Tao soldier had ugly expressions. They had originally wanted to rely on the heavenly Tao soldier to suppress everyone and take the lead. But now, the heavenly Tao soldier could not be used at all. They could only rely on their own strength. The eyes of those who did not have heavenly Tao soldiers lit up. For example, Lu Ming and the others. Without the heavenly Tao soldiers, they had nothing to fear. Even if I don't use the heavenly Tao soldier, I will still kill you. One of the members of the evil god race bellowed in rage as he brandished a gigantic metal rod and rushed up, smashing it towards the statue. The iron rod rapidly enlarged, becoming tens of thousands of meters long. It was incomparably shocking, shattering the void as it smashed down towards the statue. The evil god tribe member who attacked was extremely powerful. He was a peak great emperor. Boom! The huge iron rod smashed into the head of the statue, causing it to vibrate violently. However, the statue was completely fine. Not even a mark was left on it. So hard, many people were shocked. A peak great emperor's full-strength attack had the power to destroy the heavens and earth. However, nothing happened to the statue. "Look, the statue is reacting!" Suddenly someone shouted. Everyone's eyes lit up. The statue was indeed reacting. Previously, this statue seemed to have been carved out of ordinary boulders, and the material looked very ordinary. But now, a layer of milky white light appeared on the statue. It was incomparably holy. Swoosh! Suddenly, the milky white light turned into a sword light, piercing through the air. Its target was the member of the evil god race who attacked the statue earlier. That member of the evil god race was shocked. However, he was suppressed by the terrifying pressure here. His speed became extremely slow, and he couldn't dodge at all. He could only take it head-on. Boom! He struck out with the iron rod in his hand once again. The iron rod pierced through the void, smashing towards the milky white sword light. However, the result was unexpected. The sword light flashed, and with a puff, the iron rod was directly sliced apart. The sword light didn't stop, slashing towards the member of the evil god race at an unbelievable speed. Blood splattered everywhere. The sword light directly pierced through the glabella of that member of the evil god race. His eyes widened, filled with disbelief. However, there was no sign of life. His soul had scattered. With one strike, the soul of the member of the evil god race was destroyed. Many people sucked in a breath of cold air. This was a peak great emperor, and he was killed just like that without being able to resist at all. Not good. Many people were shocked and retreated frantically, afraid that they would end up in the same situation. However, after the sword light killed that member of the evil god race, it automatically dissipated. The milky white light on the statue also disappeared without a trace. It was as if that light had appeared to kill that member of the evil god race. It couldn't be humiliated. This statue was the statue of a supreme existence. It couldn't be humiliated. The member of the evil god race who wanted to take out the heavenly Tao weapon to attack the statue broke out in cold sweat. Buzz! Right at this moment, the statue emitted a slight vibration, causing everyone's heart to suddenly tremble and raise their guard. Then, everyone saw that the statue's eyes had changed. At this moment, the statue's eyes were no longer made of stone. Instead, they had become two vortexes. The left eye had become milky white. The right eye was pitch black. In the next moment, rays of light extended out from the two eyes and turned into two paths. Two paths. One led to the left eye, and the other led to the right eye. Why did the statue's eyes suddenly turn into two paths? Could it be that there was another world in the statue's eyes? Were there treasures only inside? Many people started to ponder. The left is the path of life, and the right is the path of death. Life can also lead to death, and death can also lead to life. Choose one. Suddenly, a voice rang out. It came from the statue. Everyone was shocked. It seemed that this statue was really not that simple. It seemed to know that they were coming. Two paths. One is the path of life, and the other is the path of death. Everyone sized up the two paths, and their eyes flickered. There might really be fortuitous opportunities inside. This was a fortuitous opportunity left behind by someone who surpassed the heavenly emperor. How precious would that be? Such a supreme existence could refine heavenly Tao weapons. Even if he left behind some trash, it would probably be an unimaginable treasure to them. Many people revealed greed in their eyes, but for a moment no one moved. This was because no one knew if there would be danger if they stepped on the two paths. The path of life and death. Life could also lead to death, and death could also lead to life. No one could be sure. Everyone wanted someone else to go first. Everyone fell silent, looking at each other. Finally, someone could not bear it anymore. He gritted his teeth and stepped forward. At this moment, a divine beast from the heavenly realm walked toward the path of life in the left eye. In the end, it went unexpectedly smoothly. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.